Good afternoon. It is 3:01. I'm Joe Spadano live from the 104 The 5 The Zone studios. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media today after the Titans' 32-27 win over the Texans and discussed what he has seen from quarterback Will Levis since returning from injury.
I've just been really happy with the way that Will's progressed. He's played winning football from that position really over the last 3 weeks, and it's just like to see it continue. And I think everything that he's done, the progression he's shown, the growth that he's shown is really encouraging. And I like to keep it going. And I think there's still, again, another level that we can get to and unlock from him.
Callahan also announced that Titans will open up the 21-day practice window for cornerback Chidobe Awuzie as he will return to practice this week. Tonight, the Chargers host the Ravens on Monday Night Football, kickoff at 7:15. You can catch Westwood one call of that game right here on The Zone after the Brian Callahan Show. In Tennessee Hoops news today, Tennessee basketball moved up to number 7 in the AP poll after beating Virginia and Baylor in the Bahamas. Vols guard Chaz Lanier was named the SEC Player of the Week just a little while ago after averaging 25.5 points per game and shooting almost 60% from three-point range. Also, the Vols host UT Martin this week on Wednesday. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit ussdn.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3 Towns on the air. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful Monday in the Music City. Hope you're having a great day. What a weekend of sports activity. 7 of the top 19 teams in college football lost. 7.
The transfer portal and NIL has created parity.
If you're a Tennessee fan, it couldn't have gone much better. We talked about the Gators. How about when the Ole Miss final became final in Neyland Stadium and everyone in Neyland Stadium's doing the Gator chomp? How about that?
Mm-hmm. That was the weirdest thing to see ever. Ever.
This is where we are with the 12-team playoff.
Well, it was a little weird, Babs.
If there was a 4-team playoff, nobody gives a crap. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Man.
Everybody feel like they got a chance.
Titans get a dub.
Titans get a dub.
I love it.
I know that. What percent of the fan base does that actually upset? Like, what percent of the fan base is all in on, like, I want them to lose every game, get the highest draft pick possible, blah, blah, blah. I don't personally understand that as a competitive person. I know you guys are with me on that deal. But what percent of the Titan fan base is like, damn, they won?
Okay, but
10%? Is it that high?
I think probably, yeah.
I might go about 15.
15.
Well, but here's what I think. I think it's probably less because all of their AFC South games are backloaded.
Yeah.
So they still
they're 1-1.
They still have a chance to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that's crazy to say.
I mean, I am not Shianoing you.
While you were gone on Friday, we were talking about what's the path to 7 straight wins. Well, we just came up with one. So now they go to Washington.
Were we talking about that before the Texans? I thought we were talking about it before the
Texans.
Oh, okay.
Now they go to Washington. They're a 5.5-point underdog at Washington. They were 8.5 in Houston. Also, here's the other thing. If I'm a Houston Texans fan, I'm pissed after that performance. They looked, and I know they're busting their ass and all these things, but they looked lethargic out there. Like, Houston looked like they'd rather be doing anything else. C.J. Stroud threw 2 picks in that game. He had never thrown an interception against an AFC South team, ever. Threw 2. They just did not play well.
Who?
Houston. Not to take anything away from the Titans.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it was a reason why they didn't play well, too.
Right.
I went back. I was watching it during lunch. Shout out to neighbors, big Zach Pillar. Watching it down there, y'all Wi-Fi works tremendously great.
What'd you have for lunch? I saw the dessert.
I got the dessert right here. Skillet cookie that can be cut into 4s, ice cream with caramel drizzle. This is on nobody's diet, but that was amazing. The lunch I had, the Gulch cheesesteak.
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
I mean, so Philly cheesesteak with chicken,
seen
though.
that.
Yeah,
with chicken. That's how I
side
always
of
do
barbecue
it.
sauce. Yeah, ooh, boy, that was phenomenal. Tater tots. Really wanted to go with broccoli, but the bad side of me won. So that little devil sitting on my shoulder.
Little
Congratulations. Yeah, pat him on the back. He did a good job today as far as health goes. Need the angel to kick back in. But I was rewatching the game, and I missed it because the All 22 popped up when I had to leave. So I watched the condensed form. But, dog, they was after Stroud.
They were.
And not only being after him, like hands up in face to like block, not necessarily match hands. What is it? What they call it? Matching hands?
Match hands,
yeah, but this was like matching vision or something. Because wherever he was looking to throw, like it was hands in his face also with that. So, and he felt unsettled.
I felt,
You know what I mean?
I felt like he didn't know what was going on. Like he looked like a rookie seeing something that he hadn't seen before almost.
Yep.
Did you feel that too?
Yes, I absolutely did. Absolutely did. And then I also think.
And that's a credit to the defense.
And what we led with in the beginning of the week, and which doesn't get should get more credit than just C.J. Stroud being C.J. Stroud, is how comfortable Joe Mixon makes him feel when he gets off. That running game was nothing. That running game
was obvious that was the key for the Titans. Was to limit the run game
and put it on him
and put it on C.J. Stroud.
And that's what they did.
And they were able to do it. Mixon been running all over everybody.
Everybody.
Like he was almost.
Like he's not getting enough credit for what he's doing.
Right. He was almost in that conversation.
He
like
had 3 touchdowns in Dallas. 3.
Yeah.
And 1 call back where he still danced, even though he knew it was.
He should have. Still a nice run. But you got those guys, like when you mention running backs, you're going to mention Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Joe Mixon. And anybody else you can just go fall in line with. But them 3 at the top of the heap. So, yeah, man, Babs, I like you got your orange on. Looks like you got Vols on right there.
So I wanted to clarify for anybody.
Don't it on the camera, man. Like, I'm like, yes.
You need to put your shoe on the
yeah.
table.
I was going to
Hell
say.
yeah. We represent, Babs.
No. I want to clarify on the chat. For some reason, Zeph.
We can't even talk about the previous weekend. You're already the bandy. This is where you are.
You're already on candy?
Who, me?
Yeah. Anyway, this my orange is more Auburn orange, but for some reason on our video chat on camera, it certainly looks Tennessee
Does
ball
it?
orange.
Yeah,
it really does. But
there you go.
Let me get these up.
You might have to take them off.
She's the only one in the room that can do this, by the way.
And I have
you got the socks on and everything.
Yeah, I got Auburn socks on. Oh.
You go sit on your left foot.
Oh, here.
Oh,
by the way, you can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
And you can see Dawn's shoes and socks.
Some war dams.
Okay. How about that win? We talked about that weird A line all week about A&M at 5-1 in the conference.
What does Vegas know?
And with Auburn at 1-5, we talked about it all week. And then bet Auburn.
Yep.
Didn't you?
Yep.
I did too.
And Florida.
Same
thing we told. This is what we keep on trying.
Godfather went off in a wrong way on the Ole Miss Florida game. Yep.
Like, man, I promise you, I understand the numbers, the analytics. Like, damn, man, dude, she's trying. Hey, listen, man, we gonna do it with your foot. Like,
aren't you in pain? Like, you've been
when the way it's bending like that.
Yeah,
it's
you've
like,
been holding your leg like this forever.
Your ankle got to be your ankle, man. Like, I used to be able to do my ankle like that. That was nice. Yeah. Hey, this is what I'm telling you. People are not taking into account, really, until their team faces it, what it means to play on the road.
I'm going to go back to what Kirby Smart said after the Tennessee game.
In that atmosphere, too.
It is hard to play on the road in the SEC now.
And guess why? Why in the SEC is because these
stadiums are huge.
And these fan bases are dumb.
They don't care what their team's record is.
That's all I'm saying.
They treat it as if you're 10-0 or 0-10. They do not care.
Dude, you have a block of your life set out for what you need to do on Saturdays during football season in SEC.
You get 12 of these, guaranteed. You get 12 of them.
I don't care. I don't care what's going on. Listen, people are sick going to the hospital. At church, they on the sick and shut-in list. People not being able to eat their food before getting to the tailgate. Listen, cars are breaking down. Like, all of this is happening. But in that block, don't call me. I got somewhere to be. I got to be at the game. I know we sorry. I'm going anyway. Like, dude, this SEC is different, man. It's different, dog.
That was Auburn's last home game, senior night.
Come on, dog.
Last chance for Auburn fans to gather in that stadium.
Hey, man.
You know, all senior nights are usually packed, too.
Who came up with It Just Means More? Who came up with that?
I think that was a Sankey thing.
Like, because that's it.
My guess is it's someone over there that's not Sankey, but I mean...
But they all in on it.
Listen, usually those little mantras, you change it year to year.
Right.
They're never changing.
You bet not.
Ever.
You bet not.
Ever.
Because it does.
Because Auburn, it looked like they were undefeated. Their crowd was incredible in that game.
Dude, this is crazy.
No, their crowd's always incredible.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, same with Tennessee. Same with South Carolina.
The SWAT, too. They're supposed to have been done.
Yeah, I
remember. They
remember
fired.
when, right? I mean,
Why y'all
it's
showing up then if
crazy
you
what
wasn't fired?
Florida is
Right.
doing. Yeah.
Because they're going to win this week, too.
Yep.
Shoot, I remember South Carolina. I remember when I was in college in that first season, they didn't win a single game.
Mm-hmm.
They did not win a game, and that place was packed and loud regardless.
So, Jael just brought up SEC only getting 3 teams into the playoff. That's debatable.
Mm-hmm.
That's debatable.
I think you don't know yet.
I understand the 3-loss element of what is being said there.
Mm-hmm.
But the debate, have y'all seen the debate? The debate now is if the ACC champ with 2 losses gets in over Alabama with 3 losses. And the thought is Alabama would still get in. How crazy is that?
Hey, man, we got them we got the league by the throat. Like, leave one us out.
That is crazy.
That's
Isn't
nuts
it?
to even think about.
I can't wait to see. I say this every Monday, don't I? I can't wait to see the selection show tomorrow to see how they
It
value
supersedes
certain
everything
things.
right now, man.
What do they do with Indiana?
Right?
They got to be in. I thought they got spanked, but Ohio State did that at the end. They didn't have to score. If that was any other game, I think they run it
did
out.
not have to score.
They have to score.
But Indiana
And
scored.
Signetti didn't use timeouts or anything like that. But Ryan
Indiana-
Day was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go."
Give me all this.
And I get it because you have to you have to have those style points. What if Ohio State loses
You
a
have
game?
to.
They need to make sure that they have that win differential and all of that. I mean, it's
I watched that game.
It is
Ohio
what it
State
is.
pounded Indiana. And I'm sorry. I'm for Indiana. I'm for my guy Harder.
I know, but
They pounded them. I'm telling
That's
you.
what it was.
They physically beat the crap out of them.
there's. I mean,
Indiana scored 8 meaningless points at the end, too.
Two, yeah.
But there were special team issues too.
Yep.
And so
The light's brighter when you play a bigger team.
I know, but I don't necessarily agree with you on they absolutely pounded them.
You don't have to. That's my opinion.
But yeah.
After watching the game, I just that's Indiana's only opponent with above 500 record, and they got smoked. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, the thing that stinks is Penn State is not good.
No,
That's the thing.
Indiana would beat Penn State. In my
Indiana
opinion.
would absolutely.
They just
Penn
didn't get a chance to
State,
play 'em.
and you're not
And
going
get
to
what?
get to see it.
And get what?
I watched
Notre
that
Dame
game,
better
too.
be careful, too. Penn State, Notre Dame, the same trip.
Minnesota's not good, and they almost beat them.
They sure did.
They should have beat them.
Double-digit underdog.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat my ice cream.
So it just. I know. I mean,
I know what to do.
that kind of stinks. But then again, if I'm a team too, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking.
It's so.
I'm not going to play a hard schedule because do you get rewarded for
Nope,
it?
that's what they've all said now. They've all learned
don't.
that.
But we'll get to see. Because if
In
Alabama
the
and
end,
Georgia.
we'll get to see.
Like,
You're right.
means more to have one loss. I'm with you. I think Indiana gets in. I'm just saying, like, that's a conversation.
So who does it look
After watching Ohio State and Indiana,
who had the best way about going about things? Was it the hypo approach where, listen, man, we just going to let our schedule take care of whatever it is. We just face whoever we face. Because he hasn't hoopla. But you watch Drink, Beamer, Kirby, like all of these Lane, even lobby for, like, hey, man, this is different in the SEC. We ought to be valued differently than it is in the others.
And they are. They are
But we're going to
already.
see at the end.
But we'll really see.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
It's also hard for me as a college football fan to say, oh, yeah, 3-loss team, put them in the playoff.
Yep.
That's hard.
But we're supposed to be
is.
going to
hard.
the
I'm
best
like, you
teams,
lost
though.
3.
it is, but watch that debate happen.
Yep.
Watch it.
It'll happen.
It already
But then
is
again,
today.
like Alabama has, sorry, Vandy, bad losses
Yep.
in that 3 too.
But guess what? Before this week, you know what everybody said? And this is why I kept coming back to this. Remember we was at Buffalo Wild Wings, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago? And I said, man, it's not right to count against them teams. Oklahoma was supposed to be a bad loss when we went and played them at Oklahoma. When game day was there, they was ranked, and everybody said coming out of the game, this is a bad loss. This ain't a good win.
A bad win.
It's a bad win, you know what I'm saying? So now they go and play Alabama. And all we heard was Alabama is a team you don't want to play. They hitting on all cylinders, and they only scored 3 points.
Look what they did to LSU. Like, what is LSU?
LSU is garbage.
Remember, like 5-6 weeks ago, Mike Keith was like, the SEC's turning into the NFL, where you just don't know week to week what the matchups are.
Yep.
And you can go from blowout win here to blowout loss here, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
You were a double-digit favorite, and you got smoked. What happened?
Dog, everyone was saying Ole Miss was the same thing. But I remember I kept on saying, dog, they got up to play Georgia, and that's not hard to do at home.
Right.
They got up. They got the talent. But can you do it again on the road?
How about Florida with a hoop on the sideline to make fun of Ole Miss? Like, that team thought they were going to win.
That was the thing.
They kept dunking after the game, too. They just stood over the
That
dunk
team prepared to win that game. And that is a credit to Billy Napier.
Like, the fans are already at the Purple Tortoise or whatever the hell that place is, and the football players are still out there dunking on the sideline.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
What locker room?
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Lob City. But that's what Ole Miss did to prepare for who?
That's right.
Georgia.
Well, that's Ole Miss has the basketball, to her point.
I'm saying she said that was Billy Napier to prepare for that game to win that game. They were confident going into it.
No
so
doubt.
let's get ready for Tennessee Vandy week. This is
rivalry week,
just
baby.
I mean, listen, it's funny. The Tennessee spread over Vanderbilt is the same spread as Alabama over Auburn. That's 11.5, both of them.
Wow.
Here is Vanderbilt lost at LSU. They hung in there. They fought 21-14. Here is what Clark Lee said in the locker room after the game, and he's really emotional, and he does talk about Tennessee. Let's go.
I love this team. I love you guys. I love this team. Our margins are too thin. You guys know that. You guys understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. But do I respect the way you kept throwing punches? I can respect that, and I'm proud of it. And I'm disappointed right now, and I'm emotional. There are guys in this room that will play their last game at home next week. We will send them out the right way. All right? And I promise you, we're going to turn the page on this, and it's not going to beat us twice. It's one week that we get to spend together to do everything we can to beat Tennessee. Are you guys with me? Yes, sir. Let's stay in this fight, and let's have fun with it too, man. I can't wait to go back to work. Tonight we stay together, look each other in the eye, and speak confidence to one another, speak belief to one another, and know how special this is. It'll never be the same again. I love you guys. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Woo!
I like that.
They ready for Tennessee.
I love that guy.
Clark's ready for Tennessee.
That was in the locker room at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy.
By the way, he doesn't drop the F-bomb very often.
Mm-mm.
Sure did there.
You know,
it's
funny.
Got him right here.
Super emotional.
It's funny, like in conversation with us or away from microphones, he would never do. He would never. I've never heard him drop the F-bomb. Whereas we might be throwing it around all over the place, but like that's. I love that dude. I'm so glad that he had the success he did this year to keep that job because he deserves it.
And you know what? That just shows what he's invested in this team and what he was able to turn around and look and see what this team invested in itself as well. That's the only way you get emotional because you ain't seen guys check out. You finally know you got
really
something special.
Love your team.
Yeah, and listen. It's been every time I came towards the end of the season, I understood that. Man, I got emotional towards the end of the season. Why? Because you see that window closing. Yep. So what you have in that special group, not necessarily, especially with the portal and everything, it ain't coming back next year.
You're not going to have
that same look. So
as of right now, Diego ain't coming back.
That's what I'm saying. So you got something special.
Nope.
Ramon Foster on YouTube. Oh, you hear the hate in that speech. LOL. Vandyman AD2. It's on in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
Lethal Latin 615. What a weird motivational speech to just go out there and lose by 50.
Oh, it's on.
Karen, I don't want Vandy to be ready for Tennessee. Go Vols.
You ain't got to worry about it. See, the same thing you hear from that and the investment that those people make, you can understand that we're brewing them too.
Ramon, put your love away this week, Mayor. Oh, for sure that.
Hey, man, listen here.
Listen, rivalry week smack talk has already been.
It's on.
Listen, it's like the Godfather. This ain't personal. It's business.
On.
It's business.
Bring all your eye patches, Pirates.
We'll be right back. 3HL 615-737-1045. Let's kick this week off. Let's go.
Hey, listen, you can throw the spreads out the window because you never know what's going to happen during rivalry week. That'll make betting on the games fun, right? Well, you need to jump in on Zen Sports if you haven't already. And it actually is not too early to be thinking about the big game, too, because this month, Zen Sports, the newest sports book here in Tennessee, has launched a brand new sweepstakes for all its Tennessee customers. The Big Game Sweepstakes is what it's called. You can win a grand prize of 2 tickets to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans or $10,000 cash. They're also going to award 50 additional prizes, which includes 2 tickets to any Tennessee sporting event or $100 cash. Get in on the action. Earn multiple entries every day by betting on the Zen Sports app. Every bet, you get an entry. Every dollar you bet, you earn an additional entry. You like parlays, you earn double the entries on every parlay place. Start betting with Zen Sports. Download their app today. Zen Sports, where betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Qualifying wager for wager entry must have minimum odds for any leg of the entry at least minus 250 or worse American odds. For clarity, a wager at minus 251 odds does not qualify. Head to zensports.com/sweepstakes for terms and conditions. You must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Levis, empty backfield. Looking, firing deep downfield. There's Westbrook Akine. Touchdown, Titans. NWI. All he does is catch touchdown.
I mean, the man has 6 touchdowns. He's tied for 5th in the NFL in touchdown receptions. He has 17 catches. 17 catches, 6 touchdowns. Buck Rising just drifted into the studio.
Uh-oh. I think NWI sent them in here or something.
I saw a pumpkin pie, a massive pumpkin pie sitting on the desk downstairs, front desk downstairs. For you.
Yes.
Is that why you're here?
Yes, it is. And also to see my friends.
Hello,
I did not know that there was also a giant cookie and ice cream thing. It's what time? 3:30 in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's late.
No wonder you have the sleep schedule that you do. You're going to put yourself in a coma. I mean, this is just in the middle of the radio show.
It's so good.
I love that for you. I wanted to come up and say hi because I'm never here when you guys are here, and I don't get to do the Hello Friends thing anymore because you have a better person on this show to do the Hello Friends thing with you guys on a regular basis, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not bitter, but I'm happy to see you.
I haven't heard that voice in a while.
Hang on. You don't have headphones on. Do it again, Zeph.
Yeah, he does it better.
You think Jim Nance is better than you?
Well, good. That's
Listen to the pause.
That's the Buck I know.
Listen to the pause right now.
Great pause.
Go in, Buck. He's probably listening.
Oh no, that
were off this
honestly, do you know why I'm so sad to know that Jim Nance listens to the radio station, because that means that Jim Nance may at some point, just by accident, have heard what me and Lucas do for 3 hours a day, and that shames me. It makes me feel very, very bad that an actual professional broadcaster is out there somewhere being like, what the hell is this, and why is it on the air for 3 hours?
So we were talking about Animal House with the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. So Jim Nance needs to be on one of your shoulders while you do the show?
Yes.
To kind of govern you?
Yeah, well, just so I have something to feel ashamed about, so that I don't, typically do the things that my mind wants to do. Just something to be a kind of a buffer. What's up? What are we talking about?
Listen, we haven't gotten into the Titans yet. So 32-27. How surprised are you that number one, that Houston was 4-1 at home, only loss was to Detroit, who may be the best team in the NFL? How surprised were you by their performance? How much of that was the Titans' performance?
It's just a wild game. I mean, I haven't gotten to see everything else that happened yesterday because I was covering the one game, and typically today or tomorrow I'll go through and watch, most of the rest of what happened just to make sure that I'm conversational on it. But that game had everything. I don't know that you could have forecast that specific result or the way that it played out. I mean, the Texans have some vulnerabilities. Like, I don't think that they're a perfect team. They've had,
well, clearly
not a great year. But I mean, Dawn, we came into
this. They just
this.
lost to the Titans.
Well,
my goodness.
A little respect, though. That's not. Listen, Dawn. Listen to me.
There she goes.
All right. Oh, please fold your arms at me like that one time. Please.
Welcome to our world.
Oh, no. I
It's
missed
the body
this.
language.
This is
It's
how.
the body language.
By the way, for those unfortunate people that hired me, this is how the radio show started. This hour that I would do with you guys on a regular basis on 3HL. So thank you.
But it actually started with conversations when you were in another place, actually. But
Something like that as well.
Couldn't do anything.
I think that I think that, Dawn, you need to be respectful to them because they did a good job yesterday, and they haven't done a very good job that often. And the way that they did it, I think, deserves some level of acknowledgement that looked like a real football team for the first time, honest to God, in like 2 years.
And kind of looked like a real quarterback.
Yeah. How about that?
Yes,
What do you think?
How about throw a pick six and then bounce back the way he did?
I love it. He's just the way that he's been carrying himself at press conferences. I know people are looking at him like, he's down bad. He's emotionally broken by all this stuff. But I think he's just trying to lay low. You know what I'm saying?
So I said it. Was it 2 weeks ago, guys, when we were out at at Twin Peaks,
yeah.
and because I've been really hard on Levis on his press conferences, like just dissected them, eaten him alive on some of them. I called him mentally fragile. Like I've been pretty harsh. 2 weeks ago.
By the way, fair.
Yeah.
Right.
2 weeks ago, I was like, he's different. I feel it. I hear it. He's different. When he came back after the injury, finally, I was like, I just feel it. I feel that he is in a better mental place. I feel it in the way he answers questions. And I know some people are like, that's dumb, right? But
it's real.
It's real. I feel it.
Don't let them tell you that's dumb.
Different.
You do this professionally. You're dumb.
See, and I want y'all to finish this because
this is why everybody loves Buck, right?
I want to add my theory in on the end of this and see what y'all think about it. But if you wanted a rebuttal to that, about him being different, because you're there personally in what you hear over Dad, what you hear over the microphone in interviews is totally different. You being there asking the questions, and see how it comes off on him.
Well, that and like seeing just him after the game last night. Like we're sitting there waiting for him, or no, we do Callahan's press conference, then we go into the locker room for a little bit, and then we come back and we get ready to talk to Levis. And I saw the social media stuff and the stuff on TV about how excited he was that he got his first divisional win, and he's hype. He's doing it on the road, the place where he got hurt last year. Like all these things, it's a good moment for him, and he celebrates with his teammates in the locker room, and then he comes into the press conference with us. And he's just, he levels out. And he answers all the questions. And he walks through all the different situations that he had. And he takes accountability for the pick six and the mistakes that he made throughout the course of the game. And he joked about, I wonder how many 1 or 2 yard sacks that I've taken this year because I'm just trying to fight back to the line of scrimmage. And there's been a lot of criticism on him running up into sacks like the one that he did yesterday.
Twice.
With Will Anderson. So again, it's not a perfect performance. But I think that he has at least learned some kind of lesson that has allowed him to compartmentalize and not spiral the way that we have seen him in the early going of this season. That caused a team-wide ripple effect. I mean, you could be talking about, I know 4 wins doesn't feel that much different than 3, or 5 wins doesn't feel that much different than 3, but there are like 3 or 4 plays that you can pinpoint and say this team's fortunes are totally different. And some people will never forgive him for that. Some people will never forgive him for that. But all he's got to do is keep working the way that he did yesterday and try and prove people wrong. And maybe he doesn't get there. Like, I don't know. I have no idea if he gets there or not. But
is
he's
he the
trying.
QB of the future for the Titans?
Talk to me in 6 weeks, Dawn.
It's at least up in the air.
It's
for negative guy that's been like, kill that dude. It's at least up in the air now, right?
No, it's completely fair.
I was done with him.
Oh, dog, I wanted him traded.
Yeah, but how are you going to trade him at that point?
No, you trade him at the end of the season. You Kenny Pickett, you Desmond Ridder, you try and get yourself in the best possible position to draft the right quarterback and move the guy on a rookie contract in the offseason. Like, I thought that made sense when they were, down tremendous. But at least he's made it a conversation for another week, and that's all that you can ask of him. I think that the best possible scenario is that it works. And that you don't have to worry about a quarterback this offseason. And you can get a right tackle or a wide receiver or a pass rusher to make this an actual team instead of just resetting the board of the position again and having to go through all this crap again. Because it's not going to get markedly better if you just bring in a fresh face. Or you don't want to be the team that's going to pay Sam Darnold $20 million, $25 million.
Yeah.
Minnesota looks good, looks smart for doing it now because they're getting him cheap. But you don't want to be the team that invests legitimately in him in a multi-year deal. No. And then isn't able to do the things that he was doing in a better place.
The other thing about these 3 performances is the fact that they've come against 3 very good defenses, too. I can't get lost in the discussion.
No, I think the degree of difficulty, again, he deserves credit for incrementally improving and not getting ahead of himself. Now, you can't go to Washington and be feeling yourself and, divisional win and not everybody hates us this week or whatever and be the team that the Commanders get right against because they've hit a little bit of a wall, and it doesn't mean that they're a bad football team. But again, like the Texans, they've got flaws that you can expose. Just go in there and handle business.
I've never seen a team lose the way that they did yesterday.
I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's awful.
21 seconds left, 86-yard touchdown pass to Scary Terry to get within 1 and miss the extra point.
It's disgusting.
That was tough.
Lisa Manning down the hall, a Commanders fan. She said, just watch the last 5 minutes. That's all you need to know. Yep. Why'd you have money on it? Look at you.
No, I stayed away from that game. Okay. But this is what I want to say. Do you wear glasses, Buck?
Only when I drive.
All right, look. Can you read this?
Well, that's good.
Because my right's small, but can you read this?
Someone has to score on a bad team! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! You
Okay.
have very nice handwriting.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
And I say that because
Who are you talking
I'm
about?
equating this to basketball. And I used to do the same thing for Andrew Luck. When a team is bad and you're not able to put up points to stay in, you may have a guy that makes an all-star team on that team because you're not going to lose 100-0 if you're playing professional sports.
You better
Somebody's
not be
gonna
hating
score.
on my boy NWI.
I'm just saying somebody has to score 30.
Oh, you want to
You know what I'm
fight?
saying? No.
Oh, okay.
I'm equating this to Will Levis.
Because I noticed you don't
okay.
have. I noticed you
saying-
don't have your Burks jersey on because we can have a fight.
No.
Okay.
No,
I'm ready.
Don't pull him into the same realm.
Why
I've
you gotta
already
bring
left
up
that
old
ship.
crap?
See, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. That's for another date because we'll have that conversation.
Finish the point. I'm sorry.
But Will Levis, this is my thing. Can he play like this when not behind? When not playing for a bad team? When there are not any expectations? Yes, his job is on the line. That's in the macro. But in the micro, walking into this game, can he do that when we need him to do that? In game one, when you're 0-0, or when you're 2-0 and you got an AFC South divisional opponent coming in, can you do? We saw it when no expectations last year against the Falcons. Mm-hmm. We saw it when the chips were down against the Dolphins. You see it now after you've been benched because of the injury and you're able to bounce back and keep that. Yes, he's making progress, no question.
That's a legit
I'm
question.
just saying, hold up, wait 1 second, because when the chips are down, it's easy for me to go play gun ho. Oh, you gave me $1,000 to go gamble with? All right, cool. This ain't even my money. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do it. But when it's your money and you got to go play with $500 and you got a bill due, it's a little different how you lay that 100 down or that 20 down and what you betting on.
No, but Slay, this is his money. Quarterbacks are making $60 million contracts a year.
Okay.
I know he's got 2 years left, but the pressure is there.
Right.
Like if you do this, if you show that you are one of these guys, I mean, you don't even have to be one of like the guys, right? You could be Trevor Lawrence and get paid.
Yeah.
But he's shown enough to get another chance, though, is all I think.
Trevor
Just
Lawrence
another
was the
chance.
guy.
I'm not saying right here.
Somewhere else,
Yeah.
which is fair. And
That's
that,
all.
by the way, that's completely fair because it's only 3 games and he's just won the one. It's been not good enough in 2 previous sample sizes, even though it's taking incremental steps. Listen, I wish that they were further ahead in whatever this is going to look like than 12 weeks in? Of course. But one, the injury cost him the kind of time that we're talking about. I don't know how much sooner he hits his stride.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know
That's true.
I don't know,
That's
Slay,
true.
but I'm just saying that we further delayed how long it's going to take us to find out about this player, and I don't think that anybody has to declare him the future.
Yeah.
I think you have to keep him as the present and continue to let him earn your trust back as we move forward. But he gets the chance to do that. I think he deserves it, and I think he continued to earn an opportunity to do that. That's all yesterday was. You earn another opportunity to be evaluated.
I just don't want to say
also
it's
say
mask and we all of a sudden think we're going into it. Man, we got our quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's on you. Slow down.
no.
That's on you. Slow down.
No, but
Totally agree.
he's putting it together where it can look like that.
But I'm also going to say this. I'm going to give the number 2 for you, too. Slay, you're talking about where was this at the beginning of the season. I also think Brian Callahan has made huge strides as a play caller from that standpoint, too. Like, I don't think that you can overlook that you had a first-time head coach and first-time play caller early in the season, too. I know Levis made dumb mistakes.
And he didn't get
But
to learn through his mistakes
but he
because it was so
didn't.
dumb.
And well, yes.
That's all. You know what I mean?
And that is so
I was
dumb.
pretty comfortable saying Chicago was going to be the worst play of his career and then New York.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I did like that he cracked on himself the other day when he said, well, I haven't thrown it under.
Thank God he can laugh because, listen, I wouldn't wish this situation on him or on anybody. I wouldn't wish this, no matter how many times you wear that Traylon Burks jersey. I wouldn't wish it on you either.
It's like weekly meme. What's it going to be with Levis? I mean, that's
And
what
yesterday
it was.
you got to be on the opposite side of the meme with D'Amico Ryans looking up at the safety and missed field goal and all the other things that happened to the Texans yesterday.
There he is. He's Buck Rising. He and Lucas Panzica 10-1 on 104.5 The Zone. Thanks for strolling in.
Yeah, we miss you, dog.
This was delightful.
Go get your pie.
Goodbye, friends.
Enjoy your pumpkin pie.
Goodbye.
All right, when we
Get
come
outta
back,
here.
more 3HL next. If you want in, 615-737-1045, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, man? Brentwood Jewelry is coming to you, and they got a great opportunity. You want to dive in on some watches right now? This is the chance, man, that you can get a great deal. All the way to the 28th. This is it. You need to check out Brentwood Jewelry watch event going on right now through the 28th. Skip the holiday lines and find early Christmas deals. That ain't nothing but the cookie, y'all. Just going crazy on me. BrentwoodJewelry.com is where you want to head over to. But if you want to go in on person, go to 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road, and get some of those exceptional style, exceptional deals that have been happening every day for over 50 years. Now, these deals at Brentwood Jewelry, the watch event, they have exclusive discounts on select watch brands. Now, you'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list, and maybe one for yourself. That's my hopes. Make this holiday season timeless with Brentwood Jewelry. Anything you're looking for, from pre-owned Rolexes, whatever it may be, a fraction of the price, Hamilton's, Braemont, Oris, it doesn't matter, man. You go in there, get a great watch, and they're going to take care of you. Go get some of those deals. Now, that only last through the 28th, so get on it early. BrentwoodJewelry.com.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
3HL 1045, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Did we even do our intros today, or did we just jump right in? That's the kind of week it is.
We dove right in. That was good.
It's the kind of week it is.
Sometimes you just got to dive right in.
Sometimes you just got to go, y'all.
I love the support that Babs is showing Auburn with her footwear and socks, and also Tennessee with her sweater.
No, my sweater is Auburn orange. I don't know why it looks Tennessee orange.
Hey.
I mean, that's orange. That's Tennessee orange, ain't it?
It's just on the...
Look.
Zeph, what did you do to our chat? Why did you make my sweater a lighter orange?
Looks like it to me.
Just for the record, I am a neutral observer in this Tennessee-Vandy rivalry week.
You already got a Tennessee belt on.
And you have a glass of Mayomi, you end up ordering stuff.
What'd you order?
My Tennessee belt.
Oh, that's what you ordered. Oh, welcome to my world. Have a drink or two.
You're just like, I don't know what that is.
Amazon packages.
Merry Christmas to me.
Remember the blender?
The blender.
It arrived, and I was like, oh, wow. God, I ordered
you were
this
really
last
on one
night.
to get a blender.
With this?
I was. Guess how many times I've used it since? Once.
Crazy.
Did you make a daiquiri or something?
Actually, no, I didn't even use it. Somebody else used it at my house.
Well, you got a good use out of it.
Not your husband?
No.
Yeah.
I think it was Higby, actually.
For those that don't know, Davenport lost the blender in the previous divorce.
Yep.
But now
lost the blender in my divorce.
And now she's happily married to the man of her dreams and got on one night and ordered the damn blender. Like, I'm not going to be without the blender.
I don't even need the blender.
Just going to get one.
But by golly, I ordered that thing. It was out of principle.
We all know Higby, and she will make use for a blender, for sure.
Yeah, she used it. I believe for our alcoholic beverages at some point.
That's good use.
Vandy Man AD says, Babs, you need a sign saying Auburn and just wear that. By the way, your voice is back, baby.
It's back.
How was Morgantown, West Virginia?
It was, it was actually pretty good. Now, it was snowy and 30-something on Friday when I arrived. But Saturday was like 40
so
and not snowy.
You had to drive in the snow?
Yeah.
How was Gus? Was Gus happy? They lost, for those that don't know. UCF.
I'll go ahead and tell you Gus Malzahn is in a bad spot.
Ugh.
He's in a bad place.
It feels like West Virginia wins every time you go see him.
Yeah, except for against Baylor. But shoot, Baylor's won what? I mean, they have 7 wins now.
The team.
Baylor and Kansas are the hottest teams in the Big 12.
Kansas, baby.
Who would have thought? Kansas is taking all of the Big 12 apart.
Unreal.
Jalen Daniels?
They're knocking everybody out of the playoff.
Yeah.
Kansas is 5-6, okay? They've won 3 games in a row against number 17 at the time, Iowa State, took them out. Number 6 at the time, BYU, took them out, who also, as we called all week, lost again this weekend to Arizona State, and took out number 16, Colorado. Disaster.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
Can I say this?
I watched every game.
Listen, I love Kenny Dillingham and his passion, but that man ain't right. He's a little crazy. You see it in his eyes. He's a little off. I think he's a little. I think he's a bubble off.
You know how Frankenstein has like the 2 bolts, and like if one of the bolts pops out, he goes crazy. He's already crazy, but he goes even more crazy.
I did not know that.
It's almost like Dillingham has the 2 bolts. You just can't see them, and one of them got lost at some point. So for those that don't know, Arizona State had the ball with 8 seconds left. It was 4th down around the 50-yard line. So instead of punting and risking a block punt, or I don't know why you don't just throw a Hail Mary at that point, but quarterback ran around for a second, threw the ball as high as he could. He threw it in the stands. So when the ball hit the stands, there was 1 second left on the clock. Well, Arizona's crowd, because everybody rushes the field now, no matter who you beat, even though BYU had lost the previous week. So the crowd is all over the field. There are thousands of people all over the field. So the officials are like, no, we're putting 1 second on the clock, and we got to get all these people off. And Dillingham is losing his mind, the Arizona State coach, who's only what is he, like 33?
Yeah.
He's young.
He's young.
He's losing his stuff. So they finally get the people off the field, not into the stands, but pushed back onto the sideline and behind the end zone so BYU can throw the Hail Mary. So BYU throws the Hail Mary down by 5 or whatever it is.
Which, by the way, caught it.
Caught it at the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
Caught it at the 2-yard line. What a weekend.
Dillingham's 34 years old.
There you go. 7 of the top 19 fall. Number 5, Indiana to number 2, Ohio State, 38-15. Number 4, Penn State won by 1 point at Minnesota.
Don't you just want them to lose at some point? Like, sorry, James Franklin, but
It ain't nothing.
Number 6, Notre Dame pounded number 19, Army, 49-14. Number 7, Alabama. First time they hadn't scored a touchdown in a game since, 2011? Something like that? 24-3, the final at Oklahoma. Anybody have that one on the bingo card for Saturday?
No.
that would be a big fat negative.
Number 9, Ole Miss. Falls at Florida, 24-17. Now,
They don't.
Ole Miss, they love to run the short yardage with Pegues. Florida had that. They did that 4 times on 4th down, and Florida stopped them 3 of the 4 times.
Inspired ball, man.
And then Jackson Dart threw 2 interceptions late and cried on the sideline, and I felt bad for him. But anyway, and then Vol fans, when the score became final at Neyland Stadium, everybody in Neyland Stadium was doing the Gator Chomp, which was a bizarre thing to see. This is where we are in college football. Thousands of Vol fans doing a Gator Chomp. Doesn't happen without a 12-team playoff, right?
No.
Boise State. I watched this game too. Now, the most misranked team in America is Boise State.
Okay, so I have not had a chance to watch them.
I've
so
watched them like 5 times because I want to watch Genty. I love watching Genty. I love that
I've
kid
watched
play.
his highlights, but I haven't watched complete games of them. So
It's
hit
hard for me to
me.
watch them.
He reminds me of LaDainian Tomlinson. Like, that's the comparison I have for him. He's an incredible player, for sure. But Boise State, beyond him, not that good. They beat Wyoming 17-13. Wyoming is
They were losing at one point,
Yes.
I saw.
Wyoming is 2-9.
Yikes.
BYU is going to get a bye.
Boise State, yeah.
Boise State is going to get a bye. And, like, if you look at their power, we need to ask Todd Furman on Wednesday what Boise State's power ranking is. Because I saw Brad Powers today, one of Todd Furman's guys, say that the Big 12 champion won't be in his top 20 in his power rankings. Yet they're going to get a bye.
Yeah.
Which explains that. BYU lost to Arizona State 28-23. Number 15, Texas A&M lost to your boys, Auburn, 43-41 in 4 overtimes. How about that?
Crazy.
Peyton Thorne doing Peyton Thorne things and still doing good things. And it was weird.
Oh, I thought you were saying doing Peyton Thorne things as in good things. I'm like, no, that's not Peyton Thorne things.
No, he threw that one interception. I was like, oh my God. So they had the game in hand.
I do believe on Twitter, I responded to somebody because they had said, oh, look, Auburn's going to uphold their part of the end of the bargain or whatever. I'm like, just give it time. Stand by. Give it some time.
Number 16, Colorado falls to Kansas, 37-21 blowout. As we mentioned, Kansas at 5-6. They've won 3 in a row against top 20 teams. At 5-6.
Telling you, If Kansas and Baylor hadn't screwed up early in their seasons, watch out.
615-737-1045. Brandon, before the break in Lebanon. Brandon, what's up? Yo, Brandon.
Hey, bro. I hadn't talked to you in forever since you and Blaine were on the show together.
Oh, what's up, man?
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah. So I wanted to chime in with this Will Levis deal. So I think it could be something to do with, like, we know how terrible the O-line is.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think maybe at some point in, like, Will Levis's head, like, his psyche has made him develop this type of I need to fall to the ground because my O-line's not going to hold up for me. Like, if they see, one of the defensive ends coming around the edge, he's like automatically like, I got to get on the ground. So to my point of this is, like, do you think maybe he's just built something inside of his head where it's like he's taking all of these sacks because he knows that the O-line can't hold up for him?
I think he's taking the sacks, number one, because he had problems not taking the sacks earlier and throwing the ball up for grabs and bad things happening. And I think this is an example of him being coached, honestly. The head coach said...
He's got to find the happy medium.
Right. The head coach said 2 of them were discussed because they were on the edge of field goal range, and they discussed him not taking the big sack, and that twice he moved up in the pocket because of that. But they've got to fix it. They've got to fix it. The head coach said that. They've got to fix it. But
there's no way that pressure doesn't get to any quarterback over the course of a season. You can't you absolutely cannot say that it doesn't affect how he plays in decision making. It does.
Yep, Brian Callahan,
So,
we've
yes.
definitely got to get the sack numbers down. We can't give up 8 sacks a game. We've all got to do a better job to get that part fixed. We've got pass block grades for the offensive line. When we come back, more of your phone calls, talking Titans, talking college football, 615-737-1045.
Yo, good people, what's happening? I'm talking to the fellas out there, man. Listen up. I'm telling you right now, if it's tired all the time, lack of energy, motivation, falling asleep on the couch in the evenings when you feel like, man, I ain't even did anything. Like, why am I so tired? Hey, fellas, some of y'all, holidays come around, sex drive might be a little low. Time to get it on in order. Hey, I'm telling you to get in the game right now with GameDayMen'sHealth.com. And I want you to understand that when you go in and you get your consultation at any one of the locations right there in Green Hills or in Hendersonville, check them out, man. You can book your appointment online right there at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. But this is the good part. It's completely free. That's right. You're under no obligation to move forward if you don't think the fit is right for you. Get your T-levels tested. Everybody knows that when you're taking a shot, like one of your buddies gave you or something, you're there getting jacked, you got all the weights, all the strength. What are your levels saying, though? Get on top of that, man. Let Game Day help you with that. There's no reason to delay. Get in the game today with GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Good afternoon. It is 4:03. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media today after the Titans' 32-27 win over the Texans and discussed what he has seen from Will Levis since returning from injury.
I've just been really happy with the way that Will's progressed. He's played winning football from that position really over the last 3 weeks, and it's just like to see it continue. And I think everything that he's done, the progression he's shown, the growth that he's shown is really encouraging. And I like to keep it going. And I think there's still, again, another level that we can get to and unlock from him.
Callahan also announced that Titans will open up the 21-day practice window for cornerback Chidobe Awuzie as he will return to the practice field later this week. Tonight, Chargers host the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Kickoff at 7:15. You can catch Westwood One call of that game right here on The Zone, right after the Brian Callahan Show. For our foundation repair waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Bulls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5, there's Brent Doherty with you on a now rainy but beautiful day in the Music City. If you know me, you understand why I say what I say. But anyway, Don Davenport is here, y'all.
What up?
Supporting the Vols, Don Davenport.
No, it's an Auburn orange. Listen, I got my Auburn earrings on, Auburn bracelets on, along with a beautiful beaded pipe bracelet that Baby Babs made me. Yeah. But you guys get to all wear your gear on Saturdays, right? All I can wear are my socks under my shoes that you can't see when I'm working games. So I got to wear my Auburn gear today because we actually won a game.
Listen, we're gonna wear our gear all week this week.
It's rivalry week, baby.
I mean, beat Vanderbilt and you're in.
That's awesome.
We played Clark Lee in the aftermath of the LSU game in the locker room, already talking about Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. As he should.
Vols 11.5-point favorite. I told Slay earlier I'm going to need you.
What?
I told Slay before the show as we were walking up the stairs, I'm going to need you.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little BVS going on.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Oh.
I'm in the building. Boy. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Listen, man, Clark Lee has done such an incredible job.
Absolutely.
As a defensive coordinator for the Vanderbilt Commodores at taking away the opponent's best thing.
Absolutely.
And when he can't do that, he takes away the run game, which is he made LSU one-dimensional. They'd scored 21 points. They were right there in the game.
Yep.
Can he limit Tennessee's ground game and make Nico beat them?
Yeah, I mean,
as we
by
sit
the way,
here on
I saw
Monday.
Dylan Sampson on a couple of Heisman lists this week.
well, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him,
Speaking
man.
of.
Well deserved. That'll bode well with him coming back. Going into next year when you're on the list already.
You just got him coming back. He's coming back.
I mean, what are you going to do?
I'm with you.
Like, he'd be a fool to leave with NIL in place.
And not on Mel Kiper's top 10 running backs
what?
list?
Yeah, I'm cool.
NIL is going to be a game changer for colleges now, especially because there's so much money now.
By the way, before you get too deep into it and turn it away from Dylan Sampson, 11 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown against UTEP. He now has 1,307 yards, which is sixth most in a season all time for the University of Tennessee. He needs 158 yards rushing to set the all-time season record. Our guy Travis Stevens of Clarksville has the record currently. He needs 158, and he's got at least 2 games left. At least.
I was going to say, does that count postseason?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I would hope going into this game Saturday, like, you got to physically impose your will on this one. I thought that's what they started to do against UTEP, watching that game. And you got some guys up front, man. Like, I understand it's a different day and age with, caught him with the elbow. With the
Maui Invitational.
Yeah, man. It's Feast Week too, y'all, so I'm going to be distracted all week.
Memphis and UConn in overtime locked in a 2-point battle with, 20 seconds left?
Yeah, this will be a huge victory for Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers, dog. They beat UConn. Man, Dan Hurley think he can do and say anything. Like, this is ridiculous. But
he's all over the floor.
I thought UTEP, if they would have left.
Kansas tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be big. And in the coming weeks, they play Auburn. That's going to be big.
I don't want to talk about it.
Alabama goes to Carolina. That's going to be big. Like, it's some
There's some big games, yeah.
Hell yeah. South Carolina got beat this week. Don Staley and them, like
parody, man, all
serious.
across college sports.
It's serious, dog. But
anyway, sorry, you.
No, it's cool.
Ahead.
Yeah, you tell. I thought they should have let a sleeping dog lie. But watching their coach on the sideline during the game, he was giving them that extra jolt of motivation, like to talk crazy, be free. But the thing is, when you outmatched, like you don't necessarily want to talk that crazy. So they started to talk crazy, and the offensive line started to impose their will. Big 70, big John Campbell 74. Like everybody started getting involved in finishing blocks, and it became like child's play after that. So
he took over for Will Healy at Austin Peay 4 years ago. He was 33 years old when he got the job.
4-point game, 8 seconds left. UConn got the ball, just got fouled.
And so Austin Peay played at Tennessee last year, and Tennessee struggled early in that game too. So it's funny, Babs texted like, is that nothing after one quarter? It's funny too because like, I don't know, you were there, but I've talked to multiple Tennessee football coaches that say there's no way around it, and it's awesome to do it this way, but it does make it hard to start senior day when the kickoff occurs because of the festivities and the emotion where players run out one by one and hug the coach and all those things. Like, it's hard to get going.
It breaks your routine, man. And then you got some coaches that do quirky things like start the fifth-year senior that's never played, or the walk-on that's been around a long time that's a senior might be at a small position. But those little things throw a lot of stuff off, so it's always hard. There's some coach, I forgot who it is, that does after the game.
Well, so it's interesting that you brought this up, too. I worked West Virginia this weekend. Coach Neil Brown had 21 seniors on that team, and we talked about it during the week, including his quarterback, who, let me go ahead and tell you, Garrett Green is an emotional player anyway. Like, that guy is he is passionate. He's emotional in a normal game.
He can spin it too.
And so Neil Brown had said, he was like, we had to address it during the week because he was worried about his quarterback, and they needed one win to become bowl eligible. And he was like, I just wish they would do this senior day at the beginning of the season. All your seniors are healthy. Everybody comes in healthy. There's still anticipation for a great season. Yep. So it's easier to make sure they stay focused. The emotions aren't as great because it's the beginning of the season, not the very last home game, And so he was like, I don't understand. Why don't we just change it and honor our seniors at the start of the season instead? And that can help with the emotions. I totally get it because I saw, 21 players walk towards their families with family members bawling.
And now you got to go play football.
And now you have to go play an intense, really emotional, mental game, physical game after all of that. So I totally get it. He actually had their team sports psychologist spend time with the seniors to talk about managing the emotions and making sure that you lived it during the week so that you didn't have to live it on Saturday during the game, you know?
And then going back to Tennessee, they haven't played a game that early since Chattanooga.
Yeah.
All their games have been night games except for Alabama, which was 3:30.
Yep.
So
that'll help him get ready for this one, which is other Danny points out, it's going to be a Vol home game over there at Vanderbilt Stadium, which is definitely true.
Listen, tickets are really hard to get right now.
Yep. Dylan Sampson, real quick to close in on him, because I want to make sure everybody understands what kind of season this guy's having, because he's a great dude. But 22 rushing touchdowns, obviously a school record. We've been all over that one. It's 5th all-time in the SEC also. Number 1 is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had 28 rushing touchdowns one season. That's number 1. Najee Harris from Alabama also with 26. He's 1 away from
Didn't Derrick
third.
Henry split carries too at Alabama?
Not that year.
That was his last year? Okay.
Number 3. So Dylan Sampson is 1 rushing touchdown away from 3rd all-time in the SEC in rushing touchdowns. He's 1 away from Trey Mason from Auburn and from Tim Tebow.
Wow.
Who had 23 rushing touchdowns. So all that coming up.
Tim Tebow had wow.
Can you believe that?
You forget what a machine he was in college.
Congrats to TSU football for taking down SEMO 28-21. Tigers finished the regular season 9-3. They've won 7 of their last 8 football games. They win a share of the conference title for the first time since 1999. They will play Saturday at Moonshine's place at Montana on Saturday at 9:15 p.m. Central Time in the first round of the FCS playoffs. Congrats
I'm going to tell you,
TSU.
it's going to be cold, and those fans are right on top of you at that stadium.
When we come back, the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith. Titans win in Houston. We'll talk about it. Also, the matchup against the Commanders coming up on Sunday. Mike Keith next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
All right. I would love, as a customer of Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville, to recommend them to you. Call them today. Let them help you out. Maybe you know that you're in need of new doors and new windows. You want to make sure you get it done before we hit those 20s temperature-wise, so that, you can keep your heat inside your house. Well, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville is who you need to call, and they can take care of you. There are a couple of reasons that I love them. First of all, family first company, family oriented, family first. They mean it. Second of all, founded in 1925, Pella's been around for almost 100 years. It'll be 100 years in 2025. And on top of it, they have these lifetime warranties, of course, on all of their products. But Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville also backs their work up with a 10-year labor warranty, which is leading in the industry. They have the staff in place to make sure they support you and take care of you, the customer. So schedule your free consultation. Check out this special offer, 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no interest, no payments for 12 full months. That's what they have going on. Tell them Dawn sent you. And you can get that. Just go visit them online at PellaNashville.com.
Play fake. Levis firing downfield. Complete. Okonkwo 40, 50. Okonkwo 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. End zone. Touchdown! Titans! Chig Okonkwo, his first touch, goes for 70 and a big 6.
Voice of the Titans, Mike Heath on Titans Radio Network. Mike joins us now. Vaught, what's up? How are you?
Hello, Brett Dougherty. How are you?
I am excellent, sir. How
How
much?
is the cruise?
Everybody's good, Mike. Thank you for asking.
What a Vaught.
Good.
Everybody's doing well. And Babs is so excited for Tennessee Vandy. She's even wearing a Tennessee orange sweater. It's amazing.
Is that right?
It's Auburn orange.
It really in the studio looks like it's Auburn orange, but on the YouTube feed it looks, straight up go big balls.
It's Auburn orange.
Does Auburn have an orange?
Oh, my.
Great question.
I mean, I don't really think of that as your color. That's what I'm saying. Do you have a particular hue?
I do not know the actual Pantene color like you guys do.
151?
Yeah.
151, baby.
Yeah, we know.
No, I was saying that sincerely. I've never known that specifically. So it's sort of like Clemson's, right?
Vaught.
I mean, it's not.
Give Vaught a win, man. He goes in.
Vaught.
I ain't gonna play with him.
And the way you do it too, it's so subtle. Like you're
I'm asking a legitimate question. I mean, it's similar to Clemson,
Yeah.
right?
No,
Is it?
No, it's better.
Well, I didn't say it was better. I was trying to think of what that color specifically is. It's not as light as the Tennessee orange. It's certainly not that rust that is Texas. So it's
definitely not the burnt, ugly orange of Texas.
Which is really closer to brown than anything.
Zeph said Pantene 158.
Pantone.
Okay.
Pantone. Sorry.
158C.
Pantene is what you use on your skin, I think.
That's right. Or hair. Yeah. Yes, and it is. It's definitely not quite as obnoxious as that Tennessee shade. So,
did you just say that?
I did, and now my Twitter feed's going to be blown up. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's very hurtful.
I know
how you did that.
Titans win 32-27. Listen, we all know this is a big one.
See, I can even joke today, and you don't say I'm just delaying the inevitable. I'm not stalling. That's what you would say. Some weeks you would have said I was stalling. I'm not doing that.
Well, let's clear that
winning
one.
Monday.
Let's clear that one up too. You have never stalled, no matter what has happened. I might have stalled us with other questions, but you never stall. No.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I try not to.
Titans win in Houston 32-27. We all know what this one means to the organization. How happy was Miss Amy after the game?
I didn't see her, but if you look at the video that I have seen, I would say it's pretty safe that she is very pleased. We like winning that game. Mr. Adams liked winning that game very much.
Yeah.
Very much. It's always been happier around our shop after you beat Houston, and I don't think that will ever change.
So let's start with QB1. Another positive performance from Will Levis, just stacking them now, and 18 of 24, 278, 2 touchdowns. Did have the 1 pick, 123.3 rating. What was impressive to me, Mike, and obviously there are many elements to the positivity we saw from him this week, but the ability to flush that pick 6 and come back and go back out there and not have it affect him.
So if you will listen to the Brian Callahan show tonight, certainly going to get into what happened on the pick 6 because we have a little more time to do it. I think you'll find that very interesting. And you really get how they communicated about what happened and how they just let it go. It's over, it's done with, let's move along. That's what a good quarterback does, because when you have plays like that in this league, there are moments that the other team wins. I mean, that's a tough thing to admit because you don't ever want to give the other team credit. You want to beat them. But the truth of the matter is there are going to be moments like that. And I think we're seeing him grow more comfortable in his own skin as far as being the guy who's running this show, who's in charge of it. It's been described to me, and I think accurately, that Will Levis is no longer taking snaps and throwing passes. He's playing quarterback. And that's the evolution. You know, when Ryan Tannehill took us over in 2019, it was very obvious from the start he was playing quarterback. And that sort of stability was a big deal. One of the things Ryan did particularly well is he checked the run to the right sides, and you don't get credit for that in the stats. But those are the things you do when you're playing quarterback. And I think Will is starting to play quarterback in this league. Not that he was doing badly before, but I think there's an evolution in this. And I think that's what we're seeing, Brent, and I think that's what's most exciting right now. And I'm happy for him. I like the kid a lot, and I think he's full of a ton of talent. And I'm excited to see him getting a chance to do this because he so wants to do well. And the time he puts into it and the effort, he is committed. This is really important to him. It's said about a lot of guys, the majority of people are sort of pretenders. You know, they think they know what it takes. He does what it takes, and to see him having some payoff right now is really special.
Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, with us every Monday on 3HO.
The Vot. This is what I got to ask you about, man. And I thought when you talk about resilience, and you talk about leadership in the locker room, I thought it all reared its head with this team, especially just going to the fourth quarter. I thought y'all did a great job calling the game. I was driving back from Knoxville, but when I got home, I was able to sync it over to TV and watch it. But, man, y'all brought me all the way in. And it was so many different ebbs and flows of so many different things. We almost got to see a kickoff recovery by the Titans in the end zone.
Well, that was crazy.
That was wild. But I thought one of the craziest things, man, when you go and you get the pick six,
yes,
you turn around, and I believe it was the punt that Jaquan Jackson fumbled.
Yes.
You got that, and then it was one more play, but it was all plays where you look at a team that you say, man, if this is a bad team, a really bad team, this right here will unravel them, and there is no coming back from. And they bounce back and show resiliency to go get that win. Where you think about it early on maybe 3 weeks ago at least, this team would have fell apart in those instances.
Right. And they did at different points.
Right.
And that's where things have changed the Pollard fumble.
Yeah.
Which I think was technically credited to Levis because Pollard never controlled the ball. But, let's face it, that was on Tony. And Tony came back. And Will came back from the interception. And, the Titans were able to bounce back from other things during the course of the game. They're playing now. They're playing together. We've been talking about how they're improving. But the only way you really prove that outside of the building is to win games.
Yeah.
Because if we're discussing some of the things you bring up after a loss, it's like same old junk, right? Same old junk, same old stuff. Who wants to hear that kind of talk? This team's fighting to become a good football team. It's got a ways to go. And it's not there yet, but here's what they have. They see what the coaches want. They're now on the same page in a lot of areas. They're still shuffling in different personnel. Got Cedric Gray on the field on the opening kickoff yesterday, his first action of the year. Looks like he's going to make the tackle. He loses it, and then Pierce breaks it for 80 yards, and they score on the first play of the game. And you're like, oh, my goodness. They've had so many people shuffling in and out. The Titans started 4 backups in the secondary yesterday. 4 backups. And 2 of those guys weren't even on the team in training camp. And so you've got all of these things happening, and yet they're surviving it because they're now more cohesive. It's funny because this week's opponent, Washington, was in the same boat to start the year. 30 new players, new GM, new coach, new offense, new defense, rookie quarterback. Titans in this situation, roughly 30 new players. GM's now in charge of the roster, offense, defense, special teams. And, oh, by the way, your second-year quarterback is spending his fourth year in a new system. And we start slowly. We get broken at Chicago in a game that we lead 17-0 and give that away. What happens with Washington? They have everything go right and start 7-2, and now we come into this game and they're on a 3-game losing streak and wondering what's happening, and we're on the opposite side. We're starting to believe. And it just goes to show how long a year it is in the NFL.
Well, and it very easily and probably should be 4 out of 5 for the Commanders with the obvious Hail Mary against the Bears.
Right. I mean, they should be 6-6 right now, but early on, they were completing 80% of their passes, and they never punted, and nobody could stop their offense, and they didn't have any injuries to speak of. And you say to people, you've got to take the whole 17 games and look at it, because it's such different seasons within a season. We're pretty healthy overall. I mean, compared to other years, we're really healthy. I'm knocking on wood as I say this, but it's a totally different feel for a football team that right now, like the Commanders haven't had their bye yet. They get their bye right after us. They're beaten up.
That's
late. Mean, they don't know who's going to play. Yeah, it's really late, Dawn. And so, and here we are, we're playing with all this juice right now. We're running around, everybody's excited and having a good time. And it's not because the pressure's off, it's because it feels like the light has come on. And if you can stack a couple together, at this point, you're like, all right, let's just, let's go see what this looks like. Why not?
Mike Keith with us, the Brian Callahan Show coming up following us at 6 o'clock. Mike Keith, Amy Wells, the head coach, Brian Callahan. Can we talk about Devondre Sweat for a second?
Sure.
Titans have 4 sacks. Sweat got his first. Not that he hasn't been disruptive all year. He has. He's one of our favorite players to watch because he gets double-teamed all the time. And it happened. I knew Slay was driving back, and I was like, well, maybe he can stop and watch this little video of Devondre Sweat getting double-teamed and throwing a 320-pound man to the ground and making a play. This dude has a chance to be special.
I think he is special. I mean, I think I think our first and second round pick are both on the all-rookie team. Brownlee may be there too. We're getting tremendous play out of this rookie class. And what Devondre has given us from the start is just outstanding. I mean, he has just been outstanding. He's played more snaps than I think most people thought he would. He's been great against the run. He's taken up double teams. He's gotten quality pass rushes.
Yep.
And yesterday he finally got home. And that's exciting for him to have that first sack come, in his hometown and all the family there. And here's what's important too. Everybody kind of wondered how he would play there based on the fact that is home, so many tickets, so much time that people who love you want to spend with you. Would you try to do too much? Would you be off your game? And guess what? He wasn't. And that's a great job by Devondre Sweat to handle all of that. And that's another statement towards, I think, how he's been handled and how he's handled everything.
J.C. Latham has been incredible all year. He got to experience Will Anderson yesterday, gave up a couple sacks. But just a tremendous player, obviously. But I want to talk about Peter Skoronski. From Mike Herndon, Peter Skoronski's last 7 games, Mike, as a pass blocker, 9 total pressures in 7 games, just 1 sack allowed. Second-year guy, that jump from year 1 to year 2, I can't wait to see what that looks like for J.C. Latham. But Peter Skoronski quietly out there getting it done.
Learning to play guard.
Exactly.
Learning, I mean, that's a big part of what he's been asked to do. the same way Will Levis is asked to play quarterback in the NFL, which is obviously different. Peter Skoronski has been a tackle his whole life, becomes a guard, has the appendectomy last year, loses all the weight, battled some different things through an uneven rookie year. And now here he is having the opportunity to fit in, to play next to JC. JC didn't have his best day, but
right.
we sure ain't giving up on JC. I mean, JC's going to be fine. I think these little things that we put together this year that we're going to find, and one of those little things being the left side of our offensive line, I think there's a lot of excitement with what that's going to look like going forward and for what they've been able to do. This is, when we lost the Chicago game, I felt like I'd lost my best friend walking to the bus because I feared, I thought, if we can get the Chicago game, I don't know that we can be what Washington has been. I don't know that we'd be 7-5 right now. But I think there's a real shot we'd be 6-6. We, win a couple games, get a little momentum, things happen. Knowing what was coming, losing a game that you led 17-0 with all this new was very hard. And because then you start to roll down the hill the wrong way. Well, I think they've stopped the rolling, and they're going back up the hill. And the Peter Skoronski story is a good one. I'm excited about a lot of the foundational things with this team, and to see it pay off yesterday against the division leader.
Yeah,
that's a big deal. And again, now the question becomes, can you stack it?
That's right.
And this is one that if you go play, and you got to play better, but if you go play, you can get this one. No guarantees. But you've certainly got an opportunity. You've got a chance to get several of them, as a matter of fact. And that's what this team needs to be doing to kind of build up what a Brian Callahan football team is going to look like, to have that arrow pointing up at the end of the year, which is what they want.
Man, you look at that, Vaught, and you talk about which way the team is going to be pointing up. But when you separate it and you talk about just the coach, I think Callahan got to be given some credit, too. This was one of those situations where it almost looked like he had D'Amico kind of guessing where he was going to go. When play calling is flowing the way it was with the runs, the fake screens, and then the draws to the running back, the passes to Chig, them talking about making plays up. We've been waiting on these plays to be able to hit. So showing something they've been running all year and then giving a counter off of it. You got to tip the cap to Callahan, looking like Babs was talking about it earlier, looking like he's starting to settle in as well as a play caller.
I think that's right. And I mean, you guys know this. I mean, everything's different the first time you do a job.
That's right.
Being the head coach, being the play caller, being on the sideline, managing Will Levis, who you know, but you don't really know till you see him play a game, and then he gets off to a very uneven start, and you're trying to figure that out. I mean, it's like having a puzzle to put together, and all the pieces are laying there, and you can't figure out where to start. Mm-hmm. Do I pick up this piece and match it to this piece, or how do you do it? And he just stayed with it. Brian's just staying with it. There are going to be more lessons to learn, but I've said on your show, if I'm a Titan fan, the thing that I'm most excited about at this moment in time is Brian Callahan, because he shows the right stuff to be successful. I truly believe that.
Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, every Monday with us on 3HL. Brian Callahan show coming up at 6 o'clock. Obviously, this one means a lot to both Tennessee fans and Vanderbilt fans. Tennessee Vandy coming up Saturday in Nashville with a win. Tennessee likely in the college football playoff. Vanderbilt would love to spoil that. Chris Lowe put out a John Ward memorable call, maybe the most memorable Tennessee Vandy call from 1980. Willie Galt catches the kickoff. Here it is on the Vol Network.
Galt, 10, 15, 20, Galt outside, 25, Galt 30, Galt 35, Galt 40, Galt 45, 50, 45, 40, yes, sir. Willie Galt, ladies and gentlemen, is running all the way to the state capitol. Give him 6. Galt, 10.
Absolutely love that. Tennessee won that football game. What does Tennessee Vandy mean to you, Mike?
Well, I mean, it's a backyard brawl type game, and to have both teams be good is really something special. And I think if Tennessee's going to win, they're going to have to play their best game of the year, because Vanderbilt, they played their best games at home. They have not given the sort of performance on the road that it will take in order to win this football game. And I know it's Nashville, and I know there'll be some Tennessee fans there, but Clark Lee has done an incredible job with this football team. They will make it hard on Tennessee on both offense and defense, and the Vols are going to need the start that they had against Georgia and the finish that they had against Alabama. That's what it's going to take. I mean, if they fiddle around and let Vandy get control of the ball game, they're going to have a very hard time, because what Vanderbilt has shown is they totally have the ability to grab the control of this game from the start. They've done it multiple times this year and put themselves – I mean, Vanderbilt very easily right now could be a 9-win team.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even a 10-win team. They've been in every game they've played, and they've certainly given themselves chances, and they are a team that can start. So I think it's a formidable matchup for Tennessee, and we're going to see. They've got to play their way in, and they've drawn, I think, as tough an opponent as what they could draw in this situation, especially considering what this game always means to Vanderbilt. And, quite frankly, I mean, to get to 7 for them puts them in a much better bowl position. So something that would top off a very special year that was unexpected to many for the Vanderbilt fans.
Love it, Mike. Brian Callahan show coming up at 6. Mike Keith, Amy Wells, the head coach, Brian Callahan. Thank you, Mike. Good stuff, man.
Thank you, Bot.
Thank you. See you guys. I'm sorry about the orange, Dawn. I guess that's why you didn't ask me a question.
Thanks, Vaught.
Feel badly. I didn't mean to do that. I was just asking a question.
Somebody said Vaught trolling when he's not even trying to troll.
I wasn't. I really wasn't.
Good one, Mike.
I could do better.
Hey, listen, you know what? We're all SEC friends here, right?
That is definitely true. And we give each other crap.
Hey,
that is for sure.
Just remember, it just means more.
Yeah.
That's right.
There he is, Mike Keith, voice of the Titans. Brian Callahan show coming up at 6 o'clock. I mentioned those PFF pass block grades. I've got them for you next. 3HL 1045 this zone. Vandy Man AD2, who does Vaught have winning? He's Tennessee through and through, Vaught. Like me, it's like 615-737-1045 if you want in. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, that's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, or a pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or Jeep. The inventory is right there online. You can check them out, GuptonMotors.com. All of the dealership information is there, phone number, address, inventory, all the deals they have going on in November. So if you have some time off, make that short drive to beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. And check out the all-new 2025 models of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram pickups at Gupton. Gupton, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. And remember that Gupton offers a full-service department to keep your new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in tip-top shape. They send you text messages to let you know when things need to be done, like oil and lube changes, scheduled maintenance to brakes, transmission, servicing, and more. For the best deals on your new vehicle, keeping in the best service possible, you got to go to Gupton. Again, GuptonMotors.com, the website, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Gupton, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. The producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
From PFF, pass block grades, Latham struggled. Will Anderson got him twice. 29.2 was his grade. 5 pressures allowed, so those were 3 hurries and 2 sacks from J.C. Latham, who had not given up hardly anything in a while. The other side, right tackle. And this is funny because Brian Callahan said this might have been NPF's best game, which may be true, but
it's not like that's hard.
Right. It's not at all.
NPF, 29.6, his grade. 5 pressures allowed, 3 hurries, 2 sacks. So both.
His best game is rated a 29.6.
3 hurries, 2 sacks. Best
Really
game.
got it done. Good job.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't give up 5 sacks.
What was Latham's?
Same thing. 29.2 to 29.6, but both allowed 3 hurries and 2 sacks. So your tackle position gave up 6 hurries and 4 sacks.
Yeah, I saw he got beat by Will Anderson on that inside move, but other than that, Latham, to me,
I mean,
I don't
there's
know
a lot,
about that. Yeah,
there's a lot of
both
people
of
that
them
got beat by Will.
yeah, and the other guy.
Both of the sacks were Will Anderson. One, he went right through him and drove him right into the quarterback.
Yeah.
The other, he went inside. I didn't.
And Hunter had 100 sacks in the game.
That guy. We talked about him in the week leading up.
Mm-hmm.
Special.
Brian Callahan actually talked about J.C. Latham and his struggles against the Texans.
You know, that's the first time in a long time he's had a game where, you noticed it. It wasn't his best game. You know, I think he gave up the 1 sack early, and I think he had trouble sort of rebounding from it, and just kind of getting back into the flow of the game, and just kind of one of those games for a rookie, or going against a guy that he's played against and knows well. It was playing against a good player, and he got the better of him a few times, and those things happen. Guys get beat. But that game yesterday was not JC's best game by far, and need to be better than he was.
Let me say,
it happens, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna add to it, man. There's something always about but you playing a former teammate that knows all your moves. Like I remember one time, man, I was in the G League, it was D League at that time, but we played against Isaiah Victor and them. They were playing for Roanoke Dazzle. I was playing Asheville Altitude. Like we were both battling for number 1 spot. I started that game because one of our guys that was starting before me, Antonio Meekin, went overseas to get paid. And we came in the locker room and I think Zeke he might have had 44 that game. But at the half, he had like 19 or 20. So we go in the locker room and all my teammates, Leonard Stokes, Brandon Knight, all of them like, hey, dog, what's up, man? You just gonna let your teammate get all the points? Like, I'm like, dog, listen, man, I'm playing good D, but he always knows me as the little brother, you know what I'm saying? So his confidence is very high. Like, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on this, you know what I mean? And I know his move. He going right shoulder fadeaway every time, but he's 6'9". So, me reaching up, that was nothing, but he was so comfortable. So I say that to say he did really good that season. But his career highs came on against us, and we played them back-to-back. And the next game, he went off for 30-something. Now, I had 25 and 30, but it ain't nothing man, listen, when you play your old teammates, they know you, dog. Don't nobody know you like your old teammates.
There's also a very good chance Isaiah Victor's listening right now. So
yeah,
I'm sure he's smiling.
Oh, it's a guarantee.
Here right now.
That's my boy, man.
Here's the other thing with Will Anderson. Will Anderson had missed a couple of games, too. So he was anxious to get back out there.
And fresh.
Yeah, and fresh.
And Daniil Hunter, man.
And he know him. When we interviewed J.C. Latham, we asked him about, who are some of the guys you keep in touch with? And he said, anytime I want to lean on somebody, I always hit up those guys. I talk to Will Anderson all the time. So they know him. You know him. You know him.
So those were the tackle performances.
I'm okay with Latham having it.
Yeah, no. Hell yeah. I'll give him a pass. I'm saying that to say, hey, man, I'm giving him a pass on that. That's cool. I ain't tripping.
No doubt.
And we got the win.
A rookie moment against an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Who knows you?
Come on.
It happens.
So those are the tackle performances. Let's go center. Daniel Brunskill, 44.4. He allowed 1 pressure, which was 1 hurry. No sacks. The guards, right guard Dylan Radin, 72.8, allowed 3 hurries. And left guard Peter Skoronski, 87.7, allowed no pressures.
No.
Tight. Again, from Mike Herndon, Peter Skoronski's last 7 games as a pass blocker, 9 total pressures in 7 games, only 1 sack allowed.
So I'm going to ask you, is that only just for pass protection? Okay, because I was going to say,
grades.
man, well, they were doing good too, man. Radens and Skoronski, anytime they pulling, man, them big boys get to moving and looking for bodies to run into, dog.
Even Brunskill, I noticed him.
Yeah, and that's got you got to be an athletic human being to snap the ball and go pull. Like, that ain't no easy feat, so.
You've talked to Ramon.
Yeah,
like
it, and that was the first thing I was like, hey, Savage, is Pouncey supposed to be pulling? He was like, dude, it's not many centers that can snap.
Right.
And they be the lead blocker. It's like, what? That don't even really make sense. Snap the ball and then you
like
lead.
How?
Like, it's just not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that also shows the communication and growth that those guys are going through, even with Brunskill sliding over to that center spot, but with Skoronski feeling comfortable enough to be able to slide and take his man and be able to let Brunskill clear to get out of there. It's like, it's some good stuff happening, man. Like, and when it could be all down, doom and gloom, it's easier to take the positives out of a loss, even with hiccups. You know what I mean? It feels better talking about them. So
after a win. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, after a win, yeah.
You're so used to saying after a loss.
I know. That's damn, did I say that?
Yeah.
Wow. Come on, get out. Come on. Turn around.
Turn it around.
Wow.
How many quarterbacks have been sacked 8 times in a game while completing at least 75% of his passes while winning the game since 2000? How many quarterbacks have been sacked 8 times in a game while completing at least 75% of his passes while winning the game since the year 2000? Almost 25 years.
I'm going to go 3.
I know the answer.
Down.
It ain't 3.
No, 1.
Less than 3. 1. Will Levis, the only quarterback since 2000 to be sacked 8 times, complete at least 75% of his passes, and win the game.
Really?
They got to get those sack numbers down, man.
I mean, 8 times. You're getting sacked 8 times. Usually you're not winning a game.
Here's the problem with all these sacks.
It does take me back to, what was the Tannehill, where the Titans sacked them.
Joe Burrow playoffs.
In the playoffs.
9 sacks.
It was 9.
Sacks, yes.
It was 9.
9 sacks.
Yeah, the record is 12. And they were halfway there at halftime. They had 6
Thank
at
you. It was
halftime.
Cincinnati. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. They got to get those sack numbers down because, like, when a quarterback gets hit when he's not expecting to be hit, that's when the injuries happen. Like, I watched Gardner Minshew break his collarbones out for the year. Mm-hmm. It looked like just a normal sack. He got taken down from behind.
So if I was to break those down after watching the film, I would go just off without writing it down. I would say 3 was because of Levis, him trying to escape the pocket when he didn't need to. I'd say 2, maybe even 3 were from him holding the ball too long. Like, I mean, even the announcers, when I went back and listened to it, they were saying, hey, man, throw the ball.
Yeah.
You don't got that much time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll give them 2
Especially
of them like
not
that.
with this line.
Yeah, and especially playing against that line.
One of them,
But 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
one of them, they went over like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
like,
you got
come on, dog. Yeah, I mean, like, that's, and I understand. Throw the ball away, all that, but yeah.
All right, 5 o'clock hour coming up. We'll talk more Titans football and college football. Chris Lowe joins us at 5:20. We'll get into the college football playoff and everything that happened, all the craziness that happened over the weekend. 615-737-1045. You want in 3HL 1045 this zone.
Are you looking to save on internet and mobile this holiday season? Well, good news, because Xfinity's having a Black Friday sale just for you. Their best deals of the year are here. Learn how to get your choice of 5G phone on Xfinity. Plus, you can also get fast, reliable Xfinity internet with a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited for a great low price. Don't wait. Bring home a new 5G phone. Get Wi-Fi speeds up to 1 gig on Xfinity Mobile. That's a pretty big deal, or should I say a pretty gig deal. Now through December 3rd, ask how to get your choice of free 5G phone with an unlimited plus line. Plus, get 300 megabit Xfinity internet and an unlimited mobile line together for only $35 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. Just go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale to learn more. Restrictions do apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account equipment taxes and fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Gig speeds available via hotspots to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Reduced mobile speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Actual internet speeds and data thresholds may vary.
Good evening. It's 5:03. I'm Joe Spinato live from the 104.5 The Zone studio. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media today after the Titans' 32-27 win over the Texans. He also discussed what he has seen from Will Levis since returning from injury.
I've just been really happy with the way that Will's progressed. He's played winning football from that position really over the last 3 weeks, and it's just like to see it continue. And I think everything that he's done, the progression he's shown, the growth that he's shown is really encouraging, and I like to keep it going. And I think there's still, again, another level that we can get to and unlock from him.
Callahan also announced that Titans will open up the 21-day practice window for cornerback Chidobe Awuzie as he will return to practice this week. Tonight, Chargers host the Ravens on Monday Night Football. Kickoff at 7:15. You can get to Westwood One call of that game right here on The Zone following the Brian Callahan Show. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once, and your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three Town 104.5 The Zone. Hope you're having a great Monday. Brent Doherty with you on a rainy.
Never had it, though.
Your mic's on, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just letting the people know, too. They were concerned about me as well.
Slay's dealing with a eye blood vessel poppage situation.
Yes.
I was just asking how it happened. He's like,
Thursday night?
Yeah, I had to, because Savage said he saw a little bit of it on Friday when I came in, but it wasn't as bad. It was like
I saw it
small corner.
Friday.
Yeah.
Was it from yelling on Thursday?
It could have been.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
That's what happens when I'm not there.
Babsy's here.
And my voice is back.
I didn't think about that.
Let's go. Happy Victory
Thursday
Monday.
was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
She was there Thursday.
Nope.
No, she wasn't?
I was on voice rest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I knew you were out Friday. That's right, Thursday and Friday. Yep. Friday was a wild show, Babs.
Thursday was too.
Oh, I heard Friday. No, I heard Thursday was a little wild.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, see, this is what happens. I'm not there and everything goes wild.
Listen, Friday, we learned how long a heart can stay out of a human body.
Sure did.
From a caller.
What started that conversation?
So the guy who called
I forget.
in,
He called for a reason, but then we went down
but why
that
did
path.
he call, though? Because he didn't just call and start talking about hearts.
Was he a,
we was asking something.
a medic or?
He's a medical transmitter,
So he
transformation guy. I don't know, whatever. Transference,
he called in to talk about the
Wow, you
Vols.
really
transportation.
He called in to talk about the Vols, but I think he said, I'm at work, or I'm at work right now, or I just got off work, or something like that. And then I think one of you guys asked what he did, and he goes, "Oh, I transplant organs."
No, transport. That's the word.
He was like,
transport.
I transport organs for the hospital.
For donation.
For transplant.
Okay.
Oh, he's saving lives, this guy.
Transplants.
Can you
That's
imagine the
amazing.
pressure?
No.
What if you get a flat tire?
Right.
Oh, you bet. Nope.
So you know me. I'm like, oh, what organs do you transport? And he said, well, heart. And he said, I wear my Tennessee scrubs when I pick them up. And I said, okay, how long can the heart stay in the cooler? And he said about 4 hours. So we learned that on Friday.
That's really fast.
Slay's
really
looking at me like,
fascinating.
you always ask these questions.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's like.
I like to know things.
That's fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And by the way, everybody, you should be an organ donor.
Right. So
Save
then that
somebody's
led
life.
us to the discussion about the Florida fan that had the lung transplant from the Georgia co-ed.
Yes.
And so her lung saved his life, and he'd been a lifelong Florida fan. And because she donated, her lung was donated to him. She was in a car wreck. He became a Georgia fan, and and this was a game day thing that makes you cry.
Yeah.
But they showed him at a Georgia game wearing Georgia Bulldog gear with her family.
Oh.
Right?
God, I'm going to cry just hearing about it.
That's what we do on 3HL.
That's what we do.
So every year during the Super Bowl week, Barrett Sports Media ranks like all of the. He sends out tapes from shows all over the country to various program directors all across the country that we don't know or whoever. So we were number 2 last year, I think. And I actually joked on Tuesday. when we were like during a break or I think actually when we were leaving, I was like, this will be the show that Barrett will send out to the PDs that grade us, and we're going to finish like 25 because we were
Because it
all
was such a
over
Shiano show.
the board. Well, come to find out today, one of Barrett's guys wrote about that show. He said eavesdropping on 3HL. And he was very complimentary. It's
Very
all over
nice.
our Twitter feeds, and we would love for you guys to share that because we're all in this together. But, yeah, I mean, it's funny.
No,
you never know who's listening, man.
Oh, what was...
That was he nailed it. Like
He
from
really
all the
did.
topics to everything, the dynamic
and the crazy stuff we talk about. And
I mean, basically, he said it feels like a family, you know, like almost brother-sister relationship between us
Yep.
three. I'm like, well,
Which it
yep,
is.
that's about right.
yeah,
So I was a little brother.
And then, yeah, you're the little brother,
I liked it.
which I thought was kind of funny.
I loved it.
but my take on
Because
that
actually is kind of probably
It is
right.
true. No,
And
that's-
sometimes
yeah.
I'm
It's
like,
true.
okay, I got to reel your butt in.
it's true, but he's also the most mature of the three of us, in my opinion. Sorry, Babs. But
No, it's me.
Babs, you're wild.
I am.
Wild.
No.
Yes.
No.
Babsy, you jumped out
that's
at
bunk.
the lady on Starbucks.
Well, listen,
listen,
that bitch.
what had happened was that's a good pull.
It's hard for me to defend that.
Hey, I think you snatched her voice again there.
I did.
Yeah.
I took it. I gave it back
Well,
to her.
This is the quote in the article. There would be plenty of sports mixed in over the next 3 hours, but the episode was all over the place in a good kind of way. It covered a lot of ground.
He gets us.
See, Sammy
like-
said you're last in line, Babs.
Thank you, brother.
I'm last in line.
He said,
Savage.
I know this because you were riffing with me for the hell of it.
I
By
will.
the way,
I like
speaking
this.
of, did you put the video of
Baby Babs out?
Hadley going
Hey.
after your husband? You should put that out there.
I don't know if my husband would appreciate me putting that
He
out there.
stayed so calm
was wonderful.
while Baby Babs was screaming at him that mom is the boss.
Guys,
That was wonderful.
I was dying laughing.
That was
So this is what
Carter's like,
started it.
Mom's the boss? And yes, mom's the boss.
You not the boss. Mommy's the boss.
Yeah. And then at one point, like, because he just kept repeating back to her and just keeping her going. And at one point, she said she was going to call the police.
yeah.
She said, you going to go to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know where she got that. We don't use
like
that
it.
as punishment in the house.
Like
so I don't
jail,
know where
yeah.
that is. Yeah, but
I thought the
Daddy,
dogs.
you go to jail.
You should use it for the dogs because they deserve sometimes to go to jail.
They do. So that's what started the entire argument.
Oh, okay.
So Mr. Babs lost it on my boy Patton, who's my favorite, my rescue dog.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of Pat.
Yeah, sometimes we call him Cujo. Right? He's
Pat always comes after
Absolutely.
me.
He's the one
I
that'll
mean,
eat
comes
you if you
after
come
me.
to the
Yes.
house. Yeah. So he barks anytime anybody walks in the house, even if it's a family member. So Mr. Babs loses his mind, like, stop barking, we live here, whatever.
Yeah.
So he was yelling at Patton. Baby Babs is best friends with Patton
Oh.
now.
That's
They're
what
like
started it.
super close now. And so she got all over him for yelling at the dog. You don't yell at big boy. You not the boss. Mommy's the boss. I'm like, so of course I'm like, let me get my phone and record this real
is
quick.
It was so funny.
Perfect right here.
You should share. Congrats to our teammate Don Davenport for being recognized
Yeah, Babsy.
as a 2024 NSMA Awards Tennessee Sportscaster of the Year finalist. Congrats, Babsy.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
That's dope, man.
It's a great list, too. Bob Kessling, Vol Network, Chip Walters, MTSU Sports Network, Jeff Him, Nashville Sounds Radio, Pete Weber, Preds Radio Network,
PD.
Kevin Ingram, Vandy Radio Network, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17, and Don Davenport, 104.5 The Zone. And here's the separator, also ESPN. She's doing more than one thing out here, people.
Great
I
list.
just spit all over the
I
place.
love it, Babsy.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all. It's all because of y'all.
Proud teammate.
Y'all.
Y'all.
It feels like Vaught and or Pete Weber win that thing every year.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So Vaught wins it every year, and they just made a rule that you can't win it back-to-back years.
Really?
So Vought's out.
I was wondering why he wasn't on this list.
That's why he's not on the list. He won last year.
So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, congrats to Babs in advance, and every one of those people are friends of ours and are very, very talented people.
We got some talent in this state.
Yes, indeed. All right, when we come back, Chris Lowe, we'll talk college football next, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
All right, everyone. The weather is getting cold. Starting tomorrow, man. I'm telling you, Christmas is around the corner. We're not going to skip over Thanksgiving, but this fall as well. So fall falls right back into the winter. All that combined power. Yes. Don't lose your power. It's opportunities out there for ice storms, regular storms, windy days, trees falling, whatever it may be to knock your power out. Let Cove Generators be the one to make sure it kicks, boom, right back on. Generate automatic standby generators are ready for you. Even with our holiday special right around the corner, they got it. Yeah, but you got to call to get it, Babsy. How and what will they get?
Well, it's called the Holiday Special because you get yourself a Generac automatic standby generator and you get a 10-year warranty for free to go with it, which is awesome. You got to do it before 2025, though, so you have until January 1st. And here is your number, easy 615 number for you for Cove Generators, 615-241-6343. Give them a call. Go ahead and cash in on that holiday special and make sure that you are powered for the holidays. 615-241-6343, covegenerators.com.
Let's stay connected through it all.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport. Ron Slay's here.
Yeah, I'm out here, man. Started having a good time. Feast week.
Oh. You're loving all this college basketball.
Hell yeah, man. I am loving every bit of it. Started for me this weekend, watching Tennessee do what they did, going into the weekend with Chaz Lanier being on fire.
Boy, they played well.
In the next game,
7 threes in the first half.
Told y'all, man, when that man get to cooking, he's a different animal.
Did you see the post-game interview?
Mm-hmm.
Where they all did the post-game interview with him? That team, I didn't think a Tennessee team could be tighter than last year's group, but this one looks like it might be.
Yeah. It's good. It's but you gotta the leadership, man. You gotta tip the cap to guys that knew exactly what it took. The process was laid for them. That's why the transfer portal and transfers can be shaky, because you lose some of that foundational piece. You got guys that have been in the program like Meshack and Zakai.
Yeah.
That pick up where Santi and Josiah left off. Where all these guys now they pass it down to somebody else. Yeah. You pass it down to Jordan Gainey. They pass it to the next one comes along. Cam Carr, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. I was talking with Chris Lowe today, and I was like, well, Tennessee had a good weekend. He goes, go back and listen to what I said in last week's show. And as we bring Chris Lowe in here, this is it starts with my question to Chris, and listen to his answer. Do you think Tennessee still makes it in if they win their last two?
I know there's a lot of angst among Tennessee fans. I mean, I'm seeing, you guys probably are too, I'm seeing people, media members, bloggers, fans on all over the message boards and the internet fighting with each other about whose resume is the best. Well, you lost to this team. I still think it's too early to make a call. We got 2 weeks to play, a third week if you count the conference championship games. Tennessee certainly losing that game makes it a lot dicier for them. Mm-hmm. But I'm not ready to jump out there and say, well, if these 5 teams have 2 losses in the SEC, that Tennessee's going to be on the outside looking in. I think there's a chance that might happen. But what happens? What happens if Notre Dame loses? What happens if Texas loses to Texas A&M? What happens if Florida beats Ole Miss this week? What happens? There's a lot of what happens if. And even Auburn and Alabama. I know Auburn's had a bad year, but you look at the last couple of Auburn-Alabama games, or 2 of the last 3, it took almost miracles for Alabama to win the game against inferior Auburn teams. So going back to my original point, there's so much that still can happen. What Tennessee better do is they better get themselves back up off the ground, play better this week, make sure they're healthy, and then they better be ready to go into Nashville on November 30th and beat a Vanderbilt team who is, number 1, capable, and number 2, will be motivated as to beat Tennessee.
All right, there's Chris Lowe last week. Chris joins us now.
You were wrong.
Low dog. Just Ole Miss lost to Florida. Auburn with the 4 overtime win. Alabama falls at Oklahoma and not close. Crazy weekend, man. 7 of the top 19 go down.
Has there ever been a team that played essentially what was a scrimmage game and had a better day than Tennessee Saturday?
Have you ever seen so many? We live in a wild-ass world now, Chris, where thousands of Tennessee fans can do the Gator Chomp in Knoxville while Tennessee's playing.
And that was always the upside of going to 12, because there were going to be so many other teams involved in mid-November, late November, that everyone was going to have sort of a rooting interest for or against certain teams, because not only 4 were getting in, but 12. So, you go into these last few weekends with, 20 teams that have a legitimate chance, 18, 20, whereas a year ago at this time, maybe 6, maybe 7. And this is probably the way, the powers that be, when they decided they wanted to go down this 12-team playoff road, I'm sure they envisioned days like Saturday where you had total chaos. And you know what? I don't know that it's over.
No, it's not. So the talk now, and I wanted to ask you about this. So does a 2-loss ACC runner-up get in over a 3-loss SEC team?
Maybe. I mean, let's play what
I don't know.
Last week. Let's do it again. What if Tennessee loses to Vandy? What if Georgia Tech beats Georgia? All right. What if Texas
That could happen.
loses to Texas A&M, and then A&M loses in the SEC championship game? So there's still things out there that can happen. So, yeah, I mean, Clemson's sitting there thinking, all right, if we can win and win convincingly against a South Carolina team that's ranked pretty highly, I think, in the most recent rankings.
I'm not sure either.
Who knows? And and I know what's going to happen when I say this, but is Ole Miss and or Alabama both definitely out of it? What if you have complete chaos? Somebody's got to we've gone from saying, all right, well, these teams, the Tennessees, this team, are going to get squeezed out, to now you got to fill out the darn thing. You still got to have 12 teams to get in because all these teams are losing. You start doing the math. If this happens, if that happens, well, who are going to be the two teams that get in at the end? Are you going to have two ACC teams? I think Notre Dame's definitely in.
Yeah.
If they beat SC. But if they lose to SC, are they in then?
See, and that's a sneaky game, too, because, like you mentioned, Georgia's a 21-point favorite over Georgia Tech. Rivalry game, and all of these teams that have been trying to get into the playoff. I mean, this is just mental Olympics every week, right? Like, so some of these rivalry games on the road could, and it's especially when you're talking about SEC. Kirby Smart said it after the Tennessee-Georgia game. I'm telling y'all, it's hard to play on the road in the SEC. I'm telling y'all. And we just saw it happen again over the weekend. But that Notre Dame-USC game is interesting, and not a lot of people are talking about. Notre Dame just a 5.5-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, that's the one that sort of last week I told you that the Florida Ole Miss game was the one that jumped out to me.
Mm-hmm.
SC Notre Dame jumps out this week. Because I was in New York. I saw Notre Dame live. They're better than I probably thought they were. They're more physical. They've gotten better on defense. The Love kid has become a big-time weapon for them at running back.
Yeah.
But to go across the country, everyone's sort of got Notre Dame penciled in. This will be a way for Lincoln Riley and SC to somewhat salvage their season. But, I think this is a hard game. It's one of those that these last few weeks of the season, when you start talking about 12 teams getting in, that it becomes harder and harder to win these games. Kirby's right. It is hard to win on the road in the SEC, but you know what else is hard? When you get to these last week or two in November, and your season essentially is hanging on you winning a game on the road when you go across the country, those are hard games to win.
Yeah.
And you know what else, Brent? I want to bring this up. Kudos to those teams like an Oklahoma, like an Auburn, Florida, who had no chance to get in the playoff. Okay, everybody says, well, when teams get knocked out of the playoff race, kids are going to start opting out. They're not going to play as hard. They're going to lay down.
It was an argument against the playoff.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm glad you brought that up.
And you look at the way Oklahoma played and how exciting, and look at the stands. Look at how full Jordan Hare was. That place was packed against A&M. So those teams that had not had good seasons in the SEC, and to me, this is what the spirit of all sports is supposed to be, and certainly the SEC, the best conference in the league or in the country, is when teams like that haven't had a great season rise up late in the year like that, and play their rear ends off. That was pretty cool to see on Saturday.
Chris Lowe with us from ESPN.com.
CeeLo, it was two people that I knew who picked Oklahoma to get that victory over Alabama. Now, I didn't get to see the game, but one was BG, Bobby Graham, and then the other one was Ramon Foster. Two Vols. Now, I didn't know if they was been with their heart or what, but, man, they said Oklahoma was going to get this one. What took place in that situation with Alabama playing so great?
Handled.
Well, first of all, it's hard to believe that two former Tennessee players were picking against Alabama. I'm sure
that's amazing.
Have a hard time believing it. I don't think our buddy Jason Swain would pick any other country if they were playing Alabama, as long as they were playing Alabama.
Yeah.
Even if it meant Tennessee doing a little bit better. But no, listen, man, that was a carbon copy. Jalen Milroe played awful. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And he played poorly against Tennessee, in Knoxville, but that still was a close football game.
Right.
But that game Saturday, I mean, I don't know that you could play him, and it's not just him. I don't want to put it all on him.
Right.
But offensively, I mean, they're a train wreck. And Oklahoma and Brent Venables still defensively. Now, they had some games this year where they gave some points, but they're still tough to deal with defensively. He is a really good defensive coach. They have some players on that side of the ball. They just got beat up all year on offense. They had all their receivers hurt. They had quarterback issues. To me, Oklahoma's a better football team than their record reflects. But that's an inexcusable performance by Alabama in a game where they were in really good shape. I mean, they were going to the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
Okay. And with a chance to maybe get a top 4 seed if they could win. And now they're probably not in the playoff. And I think everything's got to happen just right now for them to get the playoff. But Slay, that was, again, I guess that's part of what makes the SEC the SEC. But, you just and I don't want to be that guy, but you just never saw that happen when Saban was there. They never lost to teams that were unranked, critical situation. I mean, I don't think they lost to an unranked team but one time, and that was A&M since his first year. And Kalen DeBoer is a really good football coach. I have no doubt he will do fine at Alabama, but that's what, if they don't indeed make the playoff, that's what you're going to hear over and over again all off season. Is they lost to teams this year that they haven't lost to in almost the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
Chris Lowe with us from ESPN.com.
Where are you going this weekend, CeeLo?
You know what? I get a home game, Dawn. I get to stay at home. I've been on the road so much that they finally gave me home. So I actually get to watch football. I'm in New York last week, and I know you have a hard time believing this, Slay, but in the New York hotel rooms were about as big as your closet. The cable existed of about 5 channels. So
Wow.
And so I tried to walk around Times Square and find sports bars. Even Friday night, I was hoping to watch the Tennessee basketball game. And I couldn't find. So I'm sitting beside this couple from Lexington, Kentucky. He's got his phone on him, watching the Kentucky basketball game, telling me how great Mark Pope is and how horrible Cal was. Again, I've never heard that before.
Right.
But, so I didn't get to watch football. So I look forward, Dawn, to sitting at home and watching football. There's really only one game Thursday, but Friday and then all day Saturday.
Yep.
I like it.
One of the things we were talking about in our text strand, because we still talk college football all the time, even when we're not here with each other. We all said, watch Auburn beat Texas A&M and then watch Texas A&M beat Texas. What an environment that's going to be. College Station, 6:30 night game. They haven't played in forever. They hate each other. That's going to be so much fun.
That was, to me, the most – and as I looked at the season this year back in August, there were 2 games that I circled, being a media guy and a fan of football. Alabama, Georgia in September, because they hadn't played in the regular season, but, gosh, just a couple of times over the last 2 decades. And the first game without Saban. And the other one, maybe the top one, the number one one, was the game you just referenced, A&M and Texas, because they haven't played forever. And those 2 fan bases literally just can't stand each other.
No, the universities themselves.
Yeah, and it's just – it's one of those rivalries that you look at, and I understand conference expansion and realignment, but how in the world do we get to a point that A&M and Texas don't play? And now they're playing again. It's played in College Station. A&M has everything to play for, because if they win, they get a chance to play their way back in the playoff. Texas loses, guess what? They've been in the top, 3, 4, 5 all year long. They might not make the playoff. You look at Texas' schedule.
Yeah.
Again, if they lose the game, and I'm not saying they will, but if they lose the game, you walk through their schedule and tell me how many quality wins they have and how you could sort of put their resume up, even with maybe one fewer loss, with some of the other schools that have a chance to make the playoff. Their best win would be, Dawn? Who would be Texas's best win in that scenario?
Ooh. It would either be a 5-loss Michigan team
on Arkansas,
or a 5-loss Vanderbilt team.
Vandy,
I think winning at Vandy would be their best win.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
So a lot riding on it, Brent, plus all the things you mentioned. But it's going to be just an unbelievable environment there. Saturday night, they're at Kyle Field. That stadium will be rocking, shaking. The stadium literally. You're in the press box. Crazy games there. That stadium shakes.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised you're not going to be there, actually. But
we actually got a couple people going.
Oh, okay.
And we'll have 2 people there from ESPN. But that's the game probably of all of them.
Yeah. Well,
I'm looking forward to watching that one. And sneaky, sort of a sneaky one is one we talked about earlier is SC and Notre Dame, because that could have a huge. Both those games potentially could really turn the committee's job and the pick and 12 teams into a nightmare.
Yeah, SEC and Big Ten all about USC in this one. We'll see there. Texas less than a touchdown favorite. Quinn Ewers getting an MRI today on his ankle. Let's go Tennessee, Vandy. And I saw on Twitter you put out John Ward's call of Willie Gault running to the state capitol. We played it on the show for Mike Keith earlier. What do you anticipate seeing with Tennessee going to Nashville to play Vanderbilt, one of Vanderbilt's better teams, obviously?
Yeah, I'll start with Vandy. Vandy's got to do what they've done when they played at their best this year, and that's keep the football and not turn it over. When I was there for the Texas game, they uncharacteristically turned it over a couple times, which really ended up being a difference in that game, if you think about it. And even then, Texas had to cover an onside kick there at the end of the game to seal that game. So much like that game, I think probably there'll be, there were more Texas fans or Vandy fans. There'll be more Tennessee fans and Vandy fans. That really didn't seem to bother Vandy. They played, overcame some things and stayed in that football game. But they've got to be able to possess the ball. Pavia certainly has got to be a guy on third down that does what he's done most of the time this year when they've been at their best. For Tennessee, their passing game has got to come alive against an SEC opponent. You go back and look, I think they've thrown for more than 200 yards one time in an SEC game this year. They haven't been able to make explosive plays in the pass game. I think Nico, and again, I know everybody wants to point to him, the quarterback position, but they got to protect him better. The receivers have got to catch the ball. They've got to get open, separate. But I think he's thrown 3 touchdowns or accounted for 3 touchdowns and 5 turnovers in 7 SEC games. Something that, or maybe was that going into the Mississippi State game? They've got to figure out a way to get that passing game. And I don't mean he's got to throw it for 370 yards, but what Vanderbilt's going to do, because as good as Dylan Sampson is, they're going to say, all right, prove it to us that you can beat us and throw it over our heads, and consistently throw the football over the middle. Otherwise, we're just going to do whatever we can to keep Dylan Sampson in your running game from getting started.
Put it in his hands. Nico got to deliver. Receivers got to help him as well.
By the way, that's the thing, Slade. Tennessee's receivers have not played what I would call great football this year. They've had their moments. They made some big catches, but consistently throughout the season, especially in SEC play. Again, you go back to the catch Thornton made against Alabama, Browser with the diving catch in the end zone. They've made some great plays.
Right.
But they haven't done that consistently, and they need more of those guys to help Nico out and make some plays and make some contested catches, some 50-50 balls, and after the catch. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of run after the catch from Tennessee receivers this year in SEC games, and those are things in this game, and certainly if they get into the playoff, they're going to have to be better at.
Okay.
I'm going to say this too, CeeLo, and keep this in mind. It was like last year when they had D. Williams. I thought towards the end of the season, he was the X factor, especially on special teams. Mark my word, Boo Carter will be the X factor on special teams, whether it be kickoff or punt. Just when you need that explosive or ignite. Like I know they got so many weapons on offense, but man, I'm surprised they don't have a package for Boo Carter on offense. Man, he's just that dynamic.
Yeah, as a cliche goes, man, he's a football player.
Yeah.
And wherever you put him, he's going to make an impact. You know what he is? He's their version of Jemai Mashack on basketball.
Yes. Yep.
Just wherever you put him, whatever role you ask him to play, whatever situation, they're going to play winning basketball, winning football. And I'm glad you said that, because it give me a chance to reference Jemai, because I love watching that kid play basketball, man. they ought to show his tape to every youth league and AAU league in the country.
Yes.
Kids are just starting out playing basketball that think if you don't score 20 points a game and shoot 10 3-pointers a game, you can't make an impact. Well, that kid makes an impact every single time he steps on the floor, whether he scores 1 point or 21 points.
I love it when Slay says he's inside the Gus shirt.
Like this will be the first year. I'm saying I was talking to Damon Fishback earlier. He was getting on the plane, going to call a game. I was telling him, don't steal this from me, but you can put it out there, Fish. Dude, this will be the first year they have co-defensive players of the year on the same team. Watch. Zakai and Meshack.
I think Meshack's gotten even better.
I do too.
Defense.
Well, he can shoot it now too.
Dude, them two dudes, man. I don't know how you do anything with them.
I love following his mom on Twitter.
Yeah, she's something. Hey, real quick on as we sit here on Monday, what's your gut tell you about Tennessee Vandy outcome wise?
I think Tennessee's got too much riding on the game. I think they've they sort of got a second chance here, after the Georgia loss, and they understand, I think, what's at stake. This is a team that's got good leadership, and I know that they understand and respect. I know Josh Heupel does what Clark Lee and Vanderbilt has done and the kind of football team they are. I think they'll come in focused, ready to play. I don't think it'll be an easy game, but I think Tennessee will make enough plays in the second half to pull away and win.
There he is, Chris Lowe.
Hold on, what's your gut on Auburn, Alabama?
Yeah, Auburn's talking smack, Lou.
They are, Don. Don, did you coach those kids up before they went to their interviews today about what to say?
You should have asked the boys my reaction. I was like, shut your mouth. It's at Alabama. What are you doing? That's billboard material. Oh, man.
I wonder, in all honesty, what does Alabama have left? I mean, are they just so defeated from getting beaten like that? I know it's their rival. I know it's the Iron Bowl. But, and I guess they still have a slim chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's been some argument today about that.
Yeah, but you know what? To finish my answer, Don, 2 of the last 3 times these teams have played, Alabama has been clearly the better football team.
Mm-hmm.
And it took Bryce Young leading the drive for the ages 2 years ago, and they won in 4 overtimes. And then last year, it was a miracle. It's 4th and 31 miracle. So I think Auburn has – these teams are probably closer than some of those games were. So now the game's in Tuscaloosa, which makes a big difference. But no, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Auburn be in that football game in the fourth quarter. Milroe better play a whole hell of a lot better than he did last week. I'll say that.
No doubt.
There he is, Chris Lowe.
Goal. Thanks, CeeLo.
ESPN.com. Maybe we'll play a little of that smack talk when we come back. Thank you, CeeLo. Appreciate you.
All right. See you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving. There he is, Chris Lowe, ESPN.com. All right, maybe we'll play a little of that when we come back. Also, Reese and Laura on hold. 3HL 104.5 this home.
Hi, I want to tell you about Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. You can light up your night and your home and your landscape just like I did with Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. And I'm going to tell you, it makes such a difference. I knew it would make a difference. I did not realize how much of a difference that it makes when you put lighting outside of your home. Amazing. Functional, yes, but also really just makes your home look better. So you can light up your night with Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville with festival lights, path lights, wall washing, tree lighting, area lighting. They will even do maintenance on lighting systems they did not install. How about that? Bob Lyons and his team over there at Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville are awesome. They do a great job. They've been around for over 38 years. It's a family business, and they are the leader in LED technology. This is what else they'll do. This is a great Christmas gift, by the way. They offer a free nighttime design demonstration so you can see exactly how Outdoor Lighting Perspectives can beautify and enhance your home and landscape. Give them a call. Tell Bob I sent you 615-376-LIGHT, LITE, or just go online and catch him there at outdoorlights.com/Nashville.
Three at 1045 The Zone. Reese and Laura, South Central Kentucky. On 3HL.
What up, Reese and Laura?
You guys ready?
Hey, guys.
Hi.
What up, Laura?
Hey. Samson for Heisman.
Yep.
All right.
And you found out a little bit of information just now on the chat, Big Splash.
I did.
Going to school with Damian Fishback.
Yeah, I did. Yep. That's dope.
Yeah, Greenwood High School.
Yep.
We're the Gators.
Greenwood Gators.
Big fan of you women.
You better believe it, Reese.
Ooh, this is late in the show today.
Yeah. That's the reason I'm talking about.
We've been ready to roll it. So, Babs, first off, congrats on your win.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, you're not going to like the rest of this, Babs, so just take off your headphones.
Wait. Before you get started, how many deep are you right now?
Well, I'm somewhere around 15 highlights. I don't know where Laura's at. She's probably,
I'm like 5.
Laura's probably 5 or 6, and we were only at like 9 earlier, but we had Chris Lowe, and you know how he likes to ramble. Yeah. I just don't understand people that ramble on the show. Do you?
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, when it's good rambling,
it's hard to believe.
Hard to believe.
Yeah, hard to believe.
That's what you got. Good rambling. Good rambling.
Ramble on.
15.
So, as I caught Babs, you're never here on Friday. Good for you. But everything I said on Friday's play happened, didn't it?
It absolutely did. Yep.
It sure did. I'm sorry for your Hoosiers there, Babs.
Yeah.
But now I want to take one debate real quick before we get into the Vols, which, by the way, the Vols football and basketball are both number 7. How about that?
Let's go, baby.
I mean, that is sports time in Tennessee.
You better believe it.
So though, let me ask you this. We had a debate earlier on the show, I heard, talking about a 3-loss Alabama team. Now, we're all betting people, right, Slay?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to put, besides Ohio State, if it's a 3-loss Alabama team, and I'm not an Alabama fan by any means, but a 3-loss any upper-tier SEC team against any team besides Ohio State in the Big Ten in the playoffs, who would you put your money on?
As far as, say it again, Reese, as making the team, as making the college football playoffs?
not making the playoffs. Let's just say heads up, a 3-loss Alabama team against any team in the Big Ten besides Ohio State, and it's your money on the line.
I'm putting it on Bama.
Who you?
Oregon?
Exactly.
Maybe Oregon.
And Oregon.
No,
I ain't putting it on Oregon.
I forgot.
They're in the Big Ten now.
I ain't putting it on them.
I forgot.
Bama Oregon play. I'm still putting it on Bama. I'm putting it on Bama.
Still?
Exactly. So there's the answer to your debate. You can have a one-loss whoever from the Big Ten, and props to Indiana. Babe, sorry, I hate Indiana because I'm from there and I don't like Buck, but anybody in the Big Ten, who are you going to pick in the Big Ten? They do this every year. They try to find a way to sneak Notre Dame in, and then Notre Dame gets their butts kicked by 30. So this year, the new Notre Dame is Indiana, and they're trying their best to sneak Indiana in. And Indiana, if they put them in, so be it. And guess what? Indiana will get beat by 30 in the playoffs, and then it'll be said and done. So they do but you pick any good team in the SEC, and they will take out any team besides Ohio State by 30 points out of the Big Ten. No questions asked. Just
I don't know about 30, but I get you. Now, if Indiana were to get in and play Penn State in the first round?
Indiana would beat them.
Yeah, and cool. Yeah, Indiana's probably better than Penn State because neither one of them are playoff caliber.
Yeah.
Neither Indiana and Penn State, neither one's playoff caliber, but the media forces them into our throats and they put them in the playoffs. So,
by the way, Reese, hey, Zeph's about to play you out of here, man.
Yeah, you better hit it, Reese.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Now you done put the pressure on me. But like I said, Ole Miss lost.
Yep.
Lane Kiffin was more worried about losing than the SEC championship and couldn't beat Florida. All the chips fell. Zeph, I love you. Good Rocket time. We love you. Balls are making the playoffs. We're in. If we beat Vandy, we're going to beat Vandy by 27. Mark my words, 27. We're going to the playoffs, and Chris Stapleton's riding the orange horse into the playoffs, and we're taking the whole dang thing down. Let's go, Big Orange!
Thank you, Reese. There they are, Reese and Laura.
I'm be real. I'm riding with Reese. Reese ain't been wrong yet, man.
Reese's 15 beers in.
Yeah, but a lot of money in too, though. That man ain't losing, dog. They killing the
Reese makes more sense when he's 15 beers in.
That's probably true.
There are some out there that think Tennessee can still host in Neyland Stadium with a win
I don't
over
see why
Vanderbilt.
not. Why
Listen,
wouldn't
you
they?
have no idea what's going to happen this
no
weekend.
idea.
How could they not, though?
I'm like Low Dog. I'm watching that Notre Dame USC game.
But
I've got
it's 5 through 8, right? The host?
Yeah,
5
I've
through
got
8.
Miami, Syracuse. Guess what? If Clemson beats South Carolina and Miami loses, Clemson's going to the title game.
It's like a 20-something% chance for Tennessee to host. You got to remember, conference champions get pushed in front.
Yep.
So Boise State will have a bye. They'll be in the top 4.
Yeah, there's 3 others.
Right. I'm just telling you what's out there. 20-something% chance. But watch it happen because it's been so crazy. Brian Callahan Show's next. Love y'all. Thanks for including us in your day. Mean it. Love you.
See ya.
We don't want to be Les Trailenberg, Tajay Spears, or Dan Hurley cussing out their officials.